my gorgeous light beings, my healers, my star seeds, my light workers. Welcome and welcome back to my channel, the Pleiadian Priestess. I hope you're having a gorgeous, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading or whenever this reading is finding you. Today's reading is going to be about your seduction style. How do you seduce people? What it is about you that seduces people? Things like that, of that nature. How would people say you seduce people? All those things are going to come through, honestly. I'm just saying different variations of the same topic, honestly. So we're going to get into that today. We have 4 groups for you guys today. You're going to choose a group that calls out to you the most. You can choose more than one group. Okay, so use your intuition, pick the image or images that call out to you the most. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people at your reading. Mwah. If it does resonate with you, please feel free to leave a comment, a like, a subscribe. If you want to book a reading with me and this reading resonated and you want to, get to know more about something or ask me a question, who knows? You can email me, just say hi, But without further ado, choose your groups. And as always, I will see you guys at your reading. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group ones. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 1 or however you found yourself here, welcome. Today's reading is going to be about what is your seduction style? How are people seduced by you? That kind of thing. Gonna be a little brief reading because I want to do more than one reading today on my lunch break. So I got somewhere to be after work. So another week where my schedule is interrupted, but it's fine. Okay. How do my group ones seduce people, please, Spirit? How do they seduce people around them? How are people seduced by them? We have mimicry. And why did I know? Oh my gosh, bro. This is why I chose this deck. This card right here, okay? I'm like, it would be funny if this came out. So basically, mimicry is when people, or crows, I should say, do or mimic the sounds of people, nature, babies, to get people more comfortable, to trick them. I think they do it for their own personal entertainment, honestly. But anytime I hear this instance, I think of how cats sometimes try to meow or sound like human babies to get humans to feel sorry for them and take care of them. I do believe crows do it for their enjoyment, their own personal enjoyment, because crows can take care of themselves, and most crows do not become pets to humans like cats do, okay? So it could be a survival instinct, maybe, but I do believe they just do it for funsies, okay? That was my confirmation. That's how true it is. They just do it for fun, okay? But mimicry is when you do or mimic what someone's already doing. So your seduction style is, so how some people say, dating coaches, body language specialists, whatever, they say how when you like someone, you start mimicking their stance, you start mimicking what they say, you start mimicking what they do, you start mimicking what they like, okay, that kind of thing. So basically you become a mirror to your person and you seduce them that way by kind of giving them more of what they do. It's kind of like you want to impress someone, right? So you start liking what they like, playing what they play, doing what they do, kind of thing, to make you more appeasing to them, if that makes any sense, right? So mimicry is basically you mimicking what they do to kind of get them to like you more. I don't know the science behind it, but it's definitely something I've heard when it comes to dating. How when you like someone, if they cross their arms, a few seconds later you cross your arms. If they go to take a sip of their water, you're going to take a sip of your water, right? If they go and scratch their nose, you feel compelled to scratch your nose. And there's something about that interaction that I don't know what it does, but that's coming through. So basically you could become a double to your person. You start doing things that they do as well to become more attractive to them. Okay, so that's one way you seduce people, And I do believe it has something to do with flattery. People are flattered when you like what they like, do what they do, or you become someone who is more interesting because it's kind of like feeding into their own ego of, oh, I do my hair the same way. And that makes you more attractive to your person. When you like the same things, do the same things, operate the same way, when you have things in common, right? That's kind of like how you trick someone, I guess, into liking you. Because sometimes we as humans don't realize that we gravitate more towards people who we can resonate with, you know? So if you see someone doing things the exact same way you do it, you feel more attracted to them on a scientific level. I don't know the science behind it, but that's what's coming through. At the bottom of the deck, we have Knight. So we have Mimicry, we have Warning, and we have Knight. Okay, interesting card to start off with. This Warning here is maybe there's something, because, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because we have a Warning and then we have Knight. There's something a little dangerous about you that makes you more attractive to people. And I think the reason why you mimic what they do is to make you seem less dangerous. So you're kind of giving predator vibes, you know? How you're trying to lull them into a false sense of safety before you go in for the kill, guys. That's your personal seduction style, or how people are seduced by you, okay? But yeah, this Warning and Knight together is kind of giving dangerous, mysterious vibes. And in order to make you more palatable to other people around you, you kind of mimic what they do. Maybe you see yourself as an outsider or an outcast. All those words are coming through. You find yourself different from other people, right? You could have a social disorder. You could have, maybe you're on the spectrum, you're neurodivergent, you have ADHD. There's something about you that makes you different. So instead of doing things like you would do it and being yourself, you kind of do things to blend in, to do what everyone else is doing, right? And that's kind of like how you get into the whole mirroring thing. Oh, they're laughing at that joke. Even if it isn't funny, you're laughing too, right? If your person is telling you a joke, even if it isn't funny, you're laughing at their joke, that kind of thing. So make them like you more so you don't stand out as someone who's odd or different. That's the kind of vibe coming through. So you could definitely be someone who has like some kind of disorder that makes you feel different, or you feel like social anxiety or something like that. So to kind of combat that uneasy feeling around your crush, especially because emotions are heightened when you're around somebody you like, okay? Shut up. Confirmation. Like I drank a little bit of water before I started your reading, and now the bottle keeps like, you know, like it's expanding, right? I'm also getting how certain birds like puff up their chest to I guess mesmerize or attract their mate, or a mate, I should say. Birds also do like mating dances, so there can be something here about the way you dance and like puff up your chest and push into somebody's face. Whether you're a male or a female doesn't really matter. We all have chests, right? Some women like broad chests. Of course, men like big boobs, small boobs, whatever. It's like putting your chest more in their face or more in the line of vision, or, you know, pushing them up in a push-up bra. That's also how you seduce people. Okay, period. But yeah, there's something about you being different or feeling different. So instead of like letting you liking someone overtake you, you kind of just do what they do. You know, you go with the flow kind of thing. Oh, if they're getting a drink, you get the same drink as them, right? If they love that song, I love that song too. Oh my gosh, we have so much in common. That kind of thing is coming through. You guys are funny. I'm sorry. You could be a little bit, you like the dramatic effect of certain things, so you kind of put on an extra oomph to your voice, or an extra I'm hearing husk. Okay, not a husk. You put an extra husk on your voice, right? And there's something about the night that gives us sultry. Like, you know what kind of things happen at night. So you could be kind of giving like a sultry seducer kind of men fall prey to you because you act as if you're the prey to them, if that makes a lot of sense. So it's kind of giving how you play damsel in distress maybe, or ditzy, to get men to find you more appetizing, tantalizing. The words are all coming through, okay? I'm also hearing a pop of color, so maybe a pop of pink, a pop of white, that you give it a more girly feel if you're a woman, okay? That's coming through. There's something here about your voice though, because we have the mimicry, and then I just noticed that the dog's ears are like huge. So what they're hearing that they like, that's how you're seducing them, okay? Let's get the tarot cards. Bruh, this bottle don't hush. Like, I like the confirmation and everything, but stop it. Sudden sounds are not for me, okay? Here we have the Sun. Give yourself permission to experience joy. So you're just a good person to be around. The vibes are immaculate when you're around. And then we have the Six of Cups coming through as well. And then the Ten of Cups. Wow. Beautiful energy for you guys. So there's something here about you putting people at ease, right? And I think it's because you copy their actions. And I feel like you don't know you're doing it. You're just doing whatever you can to make someone or people feel comfortable around you. So they kind of let their guard down, and then you can kind of swoop in and get the treat or get the, get your prey kind of thing. So it's like you make them feel comfortable, like they're talking to a friend, like they're in the presence of someone who's very happy, someone who's very positive, someone who's very beautiful. You are giving a little bubbly, right? You're giving like very giddy. You're giving, I'm hearing cotton candy. I'm giving you're really sweet. You know what I mean? I'm also hearing kill them with kindness. So your seduction style is to kill them with kindness, okay? Because the Sun, Six of Cups, and Ten of Cups all coming out in the same, like, back-to-back is definitely giving, like, there's, like, a top-tier person. They're nice, okay? They make me feel safe. The Six of Cups gives the vibe, like, past life. I've known this person before. And it's because, essentially, you're mimicking back them to them. So, of course, they know themselves really well. So if they feel like they know you very well, how do you do that? That's sorcery right there. Like, I think it goes beyond you, like, just mimicking their actions. It goes beyond that. You're a very perceptive person, so you know what they like, what they don't like. You could be a really good guesser. That could be a game you play with them. Like, I can guess your zodiac sign, I can guess what you like to do, I can guess your favorite color. And more often than not, because you're a very perceptive person, you're able to guess these things about them fairly easily, and they're like impressed. They're like, and it's because you're asking them more about themselves. People feel flattered and puff up their chest, literally, exactly, when you give them a lot of compliments as well. But I do believe there's a sense of just like easygoing nature. You're not forcing anything on them. You're building a camaraderie first before you go in for the kill, right? And Ten of Cups is kind of like there's stuff that you're saying or doing that portrays you as like their dream person, the person they should want to be with, should want to choose, should be attracted to. Like it would go against their every instinct, and it will go against their nature to like turn you down or say no. Something about that. You guys are giving peak prey, whether you're predator, sorry. You guys could be giving prey, but that's how you get the predator. You become prey, right? But you're doing it from a predator standpoint. I'm hearing you're topping from the bottom, for those of you who may be into kink and understand that reference. So basically you're making someone feel like they're in control when the whole time you're actually the one that's in control, right? It's something that's frowned upon, I guess, whatever. As someone who occasionally likes to do it, I don't see it as something that's frowned upon. But when you're dealing with someone who is supposed to be the one in charge in the first place, I can see how it can be annoying. But it's not going to stop me. Okay, period out. But anyway, that's kind of coming through where you kind of make them think they're the predator. You giggle at the right spots. You, oh my gosh, stop it. And put your hand on their chest at the right times because chest is coming through. You make them feel more manly or more feminine. And it's just like, it's like, is it shooting fish in a barrel or stealing candy from a baby? Those references are coming through. That's kind of like your flirting style, I would say. And I love how in these two cards, not all of them, but these two cards here with the crows, their mouth is open. So it's the way you speak. You have that gift of gab. You know what I mean? I'm hearing Slytherin, where you're very cunning. Okay? So some of you here could be Slytherin. So that's kind of what the warning at night is coming through as. Your very nature is giving, whenever we hear Slytherins in the Harry Potter world, we gasp. You gusp. Like, oh no, we know they're the bad guys, right? We know we shouldn't like them or be around them, but there's just like that cunning you have to you where you can flip the script and make people like you, right? It's kind of how Voldemort got by in, the wizarding world for so long, because he was a charming snake until he became disfigured and ugly. And even then, he had Bellatrix down bad for him, willing to procreate with him, because they did say they had like some kind of daughter together. I forget what her name was, but they had a daughter, and I believe she's one of the main characters in like the Cursed Child. She goes with Harry's son and helps him break a curse, whatever you want to call it. I haven't seen the play. I will one day, but the prices are too hefty for me and too steep right now for my pockets, okay? But one day, I live in New York, I can go anytime, okay? But anyway, it's kind of giving that vibe, how even Voldemort, the most man who should not be named, the most evil wizard the wizarding world has ever seen, had Bellatrix down bad for him. Now, she was crazy. right? But there was just something about her completely openly admiring him and being down bad for him that made him like, oh, okay, we can get together. But he didn't claim her though. He never claimed her, but she was still doing all that she could to kind of make him feel like, I have your best interest at heart. I'm your biggest cheerleader, that kind of thing. And which led to like a camaraderie, and her loyalty kind of was very attractive to him, especially someone who always wanted to be in control of certain things. And she was just a little crazy, you know? So maybe your seduction styles of being a little crazy, you never know. And here also on the other side of the deck, I never really truly shuffled. I just took these cards because they were the first that kind of showed themselves. We have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles gives a vibe of camaraderie, okay? I'm getting the scene from Hamilton where he's singing, and every something is of our camaraderie and bravery. I can't exactly remember the lyrics, but it's like, and every trial is a sign of our camaraderie and bravery, that kind of thing. But it's the beginning of the play after he meets his crew, you know. His crew is, I'll be forgetting the names, y'all. It's Hamilton, it's Burr for, you know, all intents and purposes. It's Hercules Mulligan. It's, I forget the rest of their name, Lafayette. And then there's one more. But something about the one who was like for slavery. I forget his name right now. But he meets them in the beginning. And the first song we see them in, which is I'm Not My Shot. He's like, I've never had friends before. I want to make you guys proud or whatever. And they're kind of like, let's get this guy in front of a crowd. And then we keep going along the play. They're standing side by side. They're helping each other. You know what I mean? They're going up in the ranks, right? And then I'm still trying to figure out that guy's name, but it's not coming to me. But yeah, he's like saying, in every something's a sign of our camaraderie and bravery together. So every trial they go through is making their friendship stronger and stronger, and their loyalty and their bond stronger and stronger, right? So maybe your whole thing is starting off as friends. That's how you seduce someone. You start off as friends. I'm not saying you're doing it to be like sketchy. Maybe you actually do like being friends with someone first, getting to know them, and then kind of like having a lot of things in common with them. So yeah, being a friend makes a lot of sense, especially with the Three of Pentacles coming out. But that's kind of what I'm hearing when I put the card down. But the Three of Cups is, Three of Pentacles. Okay, Three of Cups is very funny because Hamilton and his buddies were very much drinking buddies. They would get drunk a lot. So maybe you make them get drunk, or you drink with them, you know, shots to loosen up the vibes, right? But it says, what's the saying? Teamwork makes the spell work. So maybe you help them with things, you volunteer your time and your energy, kind of energy. And I love how we have the Six of Cups, and I'm also kind of getting Six of Pentacles, because Six of Pentacles is helping somebody out. You know what I mean? But that's what we have for you guys. We're going to get some cards from this deck here. What is their seduction style? How do they seduce people around them? We have smoky quartz. You're not just regular quartz. You're smoky. You're hot. You're smoking hot. We have let it go. So you may not obsess over the person you're trying to seduce. Like, you just let it happen naturally. Wow, why are we getting so many cards? And yeah, because then we have Lemurian quartz, and it says practice patience. So you let things flow very naturally. And that's why I feel like you are friends with people first before you're anything else. You know what I mean? You're friends with them first before you kind of bring anything else into it. Anything else coming from this deck? Anything else coming from this deck? How do they seduce people around them? One more, I'll take it. You have a gape, agate, sorry. I was seeing a gape. In my mind, when this first came out, I was seeing a gape, and a gape is like one of the three forms of love in Greek. In the Greek language, I guess you can say. Agape, But ever since I was corrected, now I know that agape is like the very reverent, devotional kind of love out of the three loves. Eros is the, of course, romantic, sexual kind of love. And then I think Philios is like the friendship kind of love. I'm getting agape for you guys. So it's a very reverent, I respect you, like God-like kind of love. That's agape. As opposed to filios, which is friendly and familial, I believe, and eros, which is the sexy kind of love, okay? And I'm hearing My Sexy Love by Neo. You're so sexy. And then he goes on to say, she makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. What? Just one touch. And I erupt like a volcano and cover her with my love. I can't help, she makes me say, ooh. And I just can't think of anything else I'd rather do than to hear you sing or scream, say my name the way you do. So I was talking about your voice, yes. The way you say their name, ooh, it's getting spicy. Let's not get there. This is not what this reading's supposed to be about, okay? We're not going there, but we have smoky quartz and sexy love is coming through. So you are very sexy to people. That's how you seduce them. But it's definitely giving, there's a reverence. And it's funny how I was talking about, what's her name? Bellatrix and Voldemort, where she was like so devoted to him. That's why he was kind of like tolerant of her. He tolerated her. He didn't love her. He could not experience love because he was born using a love potion. So he was someone who couldn't experience love. But what he could experience or could appreciate about her was her devotion and loyalty. And that's why he kind of kept her by his side. You know, she was someone he never had to question if they were on his side or loyal to him, you know what I mean? So your unending, undying loyalty for, you know, people who you want to seduce, right? And that has to be bred through friendship first. So that's coming through. But the Lemurian agate is get back into balance, okay? You could be someone who's very well put together. Yellow and blue, not blue, I mean, yeah, blue, but I meant to say brown. Yellow, brown, and clear, white, or blue could be like very good colors for you to wear. Or these, I'm hearing this could be the color of your eyes. So you have like a very pretty brown, a pretty blue hue. I'm hearing the whites of your eyes are very white, so it makes the rest of your eyes seem very, it accentuates whatever color your eye already is. But we have blue coming through and brown coming through a lot in this, so those colors could be important here. We also have a little bit of gray coming through in this agate. We have the brown, the black, your eyes could be black, dark brown. Then we have gray, then we have blue, then we have another more russet brown coming through over here. So your eyes are also something that's coming through. And this full moon, I'm hearing your butt, because we know when you moon somebody, oh, this is funny. When you moon someone, their butt is like, you know, the star of the show. You know, you're showing them your booty. So that can be coming through as well. That's how you seduce people. And let's get some dice here. We have Uranus, so there's something about you is a little unpredictable, which is also very seductive. There could be, your ears could be important as well, I think. Or people are just like very alert whenever you're around, okay? You're pleasant to sound, or just, you're not pleasant to sound. You're pleasant to be around. You're pleasant to hear, you know, to listen to. So you could have a nice singing voice. You seduce people with your singing voice, or the banter, the jokes you tell, something about your voice, the stories you tell. You could have like a very theatrical way of describing things. That kind of thing can be coming through. Here we have I think this is the North Node. The North Node is coming through, and the North Node is an energy of destiny, okay? So people feel like they were meant to meet you, or you're a part of their destiny. That's how you seduce people. You could literally be telling people that you're my soulmate. Do you believe in soulmates? Do you believe in love at first sight? And they're kind of like, huh? Like the way you came in so unexpectedly with that, you know? They're like, wait, what are you even talking about? And they're like, oh, I mean, maybe, yeah. And then you're kind of like, you and me belong together kind of thing, you know? Something along those lines, right? Here we have Libra, so very balanced and even, very fair, very just, okay? Libra also kind of gives me your voice and the things that you say, the way you may stick up for people maybe. But Libra is more so about fair, just, balance, and style. So you're very stylish, okay? Because Libra is ruled by Venus, and they're known for their, you know, her tech savvy. Somebody here could be tech savvy, but they're known for their the way they can dress really well, right? They put a lot of thought into things like that. And Libra is an air sign, which has to do, they're very social butterfly-y. So you can be someone who's very social. You like to kind of like prance from person to person. And that people love people who are social and get along with a lot of people, right? And that could also be your seduction style, that friendliness you have, that openness to you, okay? Whew. Libra's also the natural flirt, so you be flirting. You know how to flirt really well. And there's some people who flirt awkwardly. I do believe you've mastered the art of flirting because you have the major flirt coming through in your dice, okay? These can come a little closer, because why not? And yeah, people want to get closer to you. I'm hearing, come a little bit closer. Let me hold you, baby. I will be good to you, and we can try to forget tomorrow, make it last forever tonight. Come a little closer by Brandy. But I was just hearing come a little closer. Yeah, that's another song. Come a little closer, baby, baby. Come a little closer, baby, baby. Come a little closer, baby. 'Cause you're my baby and I'll make you crazy tonight. Ooh. I think that's Lady Marmalade with Christina. Her little version was like, come a little closer, baby, baby. 'Cause you're my baby and I'll make you crazy tonight. Ooh. You can't have, but you can't have it. Isn't that so exciting? Something like that. But Lady Marmalade is coming through as well. And it's like, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? So do you want to go home with me? Do you want to lay in bed with me? Do you want to lay? Something like that. It translates to loosely to, do you want to lay down with me? Okay. Do you want to spend the night with me? Kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that kind of, that, you know, that. And it's funny how I was getting like sultry voice and all these music started coming through. And something sultry about your voice that gets some like under your trance in some kind of way. It's kind of giving siren, because the siren song is coming through a little bit. So you're giving that as well. That female archetype is kind of coming through for you guys as well. That's reminding me of the video that I did about those archetypes. If you want to go and watch it, if you don't know, it's your first time on my channel, I have a video about what female archetype do you embody, how do men view you, you know, as a female. And I think I did 4 groups, and one of the groups was a siren. So you're coming through as that again. But yeah, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Do you want to spend the night with me? Do you want to be in my bed? That kind of thing, okay? I'm hearing you can translate that with like a glance, okay? So very sultry, smoky eyes and voice, okay? So here we have 11th house. That is also a house of like friendship and social networking and talking and getting to know people and social media. So maybe something else that makes you, how do you seduce people, is you may have a lot of followers on social media, and that's something people like. Like I said, someone who everybody likes and wants is someone who's going to be more attractive to the general population. I was gonna say the general public, but I'm like, nah, the general population sounds better, right? So someone who's like an influencer, for example, is someone who seems more attractive than a regular Joe Schmo on the side of the street, okay? So the fact that you have like a lot of friends, you're really good at socializing, like I said, you're a social butterfly, so you know a lot of people, that's something that people find attractive about you. Now we have the 2nd house, which is the house of finances. It's the house of security. It's the house of assets. So when I hear assets, I always think of physical assets, but assets are also, of course, it's the 2nd house, money. So you could have a lot of money, and that's coming through for you guys, okay? And last but not least, we have Leo. So there's something here about your showmanship, how you seduce people with your over-the-top behavior. You seduce people with your voice, your singing, your acting, the banter, the back and forth. They're being very friendly and having a big heart. Because Leos are known for their big heart. They're also known for their loyalty. They're also known for their hair, okay? So your hair could be very attractive. What other signs do we have here? Libra is the back. I believe it is the back. The biggity back, right? We'll leave it there for now. Taurus is the voice, though, which is funny because it's the voice, the throat, okay? 11th house is Aquarius. Aquarius always gives me, like, skin, okay? And, like, alien features, things that stand out on your body or face that are people like, oh, wow, I never saw that before. I'm hearing beauty marks, stuff like that could be coming through, birthmarks, burns, scars, stuff like that. The fact that you may have a story to tell that people are interested in knowing about, that makes you, yes, I used to people like, you would not believe how I got this scar, or you're a good storyteller in general as well. I always think of an Aquarius and the Libra. It's funny how you're getting a lot of air sign energy, especially with Uranus here. They're good at telling a story and keeping people engaged. Leo is also life of the party. Like, they're the heart of it all. They're where everyone gravitates towards. The heart is like a very important and vital organ in the body, okay? But at the heart, we won't survive. There's a lot of organs we could kind of survive without, but the heart is like one of them that we would die without, honestly, right? So very important, but you're also the heart of the friend group. You're the heart. You're their heart. Your heart, you wear your heart on your sleeve, that kind of thing. But yeah. And Leo is the sun. Wow, that did come through. So people have a good time around you, and that's something that kind of seduces them as well. You give yourself permission to have joy. So you give yourself permission to laugh, to tell stories, to sing out loud randomly if you want. There's nothing about you that gives little and trying to hide. Everything is out in the open and loud and proud and large and in charge, right? From the way that you dress to the way that you speak, okay, to the way that you look at people, to the way you touch them and make them feel like they've known you forever, kind of thing, okay? So I'm going to leave your reading right there. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe we love to have. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me. Use my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 2s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 2, or however you find yourself here, welcome. Thank you for joining me here. Today's reading is going to be about your seduction style. How do you seduce people around you? Why are people, or how are they seduced by you? Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Let's get into it. How do my group 2 seduce people around them, please? Spirit, we have battle, and then we have insight. When I read battle, I heard battle ready armor from that one episode of Codename Kids Next Door, where they found out what a bra was and they thought it was something that girls were using to like protect themselves against guys or whatever. That show was very much out there in the first place. So the fact that they saw a bra and went haywire and was coming up with all these theories for what it was, and they came up with battle ready armor. So they started using it and wearing it, and I think it was like number 5 sister's bra or her bra. She just started wearing bras, and Nigel and number 2 and number 4 just went crazy in that episode. But that's what's coming through. There's also something here about maybe you always have your armor on, you know? I'm here and so you better go get your armor, get your armor, get your armor. Why does love always feel like a battlefield? That song by Jordan Sparks is coming through, Battlefield, but it's kind of like you always have your armor on. And that's how you seduce people, because you make them want to kind of take it off or try to peek and see what's underneath the armor, right? It's kind of like how you can't help yourself whenever you see, or when people, I guess you can say, in like television shows, they see the armor in like the haunted mansion or whatever, and they can't help but peek inside of it because it's just so fascinating, right? Someone who's in full metal, you know, you can't see any piece of skin besides like their eyes. And even then, that is covered by a shield, right? You have to lift up the shield to see their eyes. So everything is completely covered. There's something here about maybe you being conservative in the way you dress or the way you act. That is like, stay away, leave me alone. That makes people want to come closer. You know what I mean? And that kind of came through group 1, but you're giving a different vibe than group 1. But if you felt called group 1, you can go watch it as well. You could have different flirting styles in different situations, you know? But at the bottom of the deck, this being mischief, you're definitely giving Codename Kids Next Door, right? How they would come up with all these crazy missions and names for all these different things. And it's just like, you have a mischievousness to you, maybe a little childlike, okay? Innocent, naive, maybe. But I'm not really getting it. It's just giving how kids are so mischievous and you're kind of like, all you can do is like laugh at them or join them, honestly. You can't really blame a child. I'm hearing you can't blame a girl for trying, right? So maybe you're not the best flirt around, but the fact that you even put in the effort and you came out looking so endearing, charmed, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You came out looking so, I don't know, innocent is not the word though. it's like they're like, at least you tried, you know, like it wasn't the best pickup line. It wasn't, you know, oh my gosh, Oscar worthy, or it didn't make me want to drop my pantaloons. But I like that you tried at least, okay? So it may not be the best flirt and it's something you own up to, but it's endearing. That's the word I was looking for. It's very endearing to those. Like, at least she tried, at least he tried. You know what I mean? You may be awkward, goofy, mischievous kind of thing. Maybe you make awkward, bad jokes. And all they can do is laugh, like shaking their head, like, oh my gosh, like that was funny, but in a way where you were the butt of the joke, you know, that kind of thing. Very interesting already so far, but we had battle, we had, I forgot what was the other card that came out. Battle, and I forget. Can't remember, but that's fine. But battle was one of the ones that came out. I'm kind of getting like maybe you have like an anti-hero vibe to you, or misunderstood, misguided youth vibe, you know? Because a mischievous person plus a youthful person is kind of giving Loki from the Avengers, or Thor's brother. How I still love him. Okay, he was one of my favorites from I guess the movie franchise. Or I'm just like, he's just so misunderstood, and sometimes he can be good, sometimes he can be not so good, but whether he's being good or not so good, you can kind of understand where he's coming from. So you have like a very relatable vibe to you. Not everybody is born knowing how to flirt naturally. So people can like, they love that you at least put in the effort and looked a little embarrassing if, you know, than not trying at all, right? It's the thought that counts, the effort that counts, that you put into something. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting for you guys, okay? But kind of like a kid. We have release, we have night. This came through in group 1. We have community, and then we have observation. Interesting. So then maybe the way you ask questions and get to know people, that's what is attractive about you, or how you flirt. That's how you seduce people. Jeez Louise. You ask questions to get to know them better, okay? You hang around more. There's something about you making people like instantly comfortable because of your awkwardness or non-threatening nature, I should say. So you're kind of not giving someone who's threatening, which is a good thing. So it's kind of, you put people at ease where they're like, okay, this person is so themselves. There's nothing hidden that they're hiding from me, but you're also coming through with someone who has their guard up, which is kind of different. You know, someone can have their guard up and still be the most open and friendly person ever. But when it comes close to getting to your heart, now that's wrapped in armor. But everything else, your personality is just completely yourself, you know? Someone can be very vibrant, open, and, you know, I'm hearing a little not awkward, but someone's like a little eccentric, right? Someone who's different, and they own up to that differentness. That someone can also have their guard up, is what I'm basically trying to say, okay? You can have a close group of friends, and so your community around you, the people who vouch for you, the people who love you, the people who support you, show up, value around you, or is it volley around you? I don't know. You know, the people who like kind of like back you up and say, yeah, they're a really good person, is how you seduce people through your community, right? You would have like, maybe your friends are more attractive, or your friends are more friendly, and they put you in spaces where you're able to flirt and open up and be yourself. When you're with your friends, you're yourself, okay? But then when you're not with them, you'll be even more closed off, right? So your friends make you more attractive and help you seduce people around you. If that, I'm just gonna leave it right there, okay, right? Because even if you're in an environment that's uncomfortable for you, as long as you're with your friends, you're gonna be yourself. And people who you may end up trying to flirt with later on in the night or at all would see you with your friends and say, oh, I like that person, right? They're completely themselves. They have a lot of good friends around them. Their community is very attractive, right? And that kind of gets you an in with people you may be trying to seduce. Like, oh, they seem like a very tight-knit group. They seem very close. You know, people love people who have friends. Loners are a little bit of wild cards. You have no one to ask how they are, who they are, right? You just see them in the corner by themselves. And you can't really how can I describe? You can't really decipher who they are as a person. You can't ask them because they're closed off and they're by themselves. You know, it makes them a little bit more unapproachable and intimidating than someone who is standoffish, but they're surrounded by their friends, therefore seeming more open because they're laughing and giggling with the people who make them comfortable, right? That kind of thing is coming through, okay? Oh boy, that I just said a whole lot of stuff, okay? Maybe you are very talkative, you're a nervous blurter outer, is what I'm hearing. Like, if someone makes you nervous, you just start blurting out random facts. Or you just become a blabbering idiot, one of the two, okay? But this release here is kind of giving me you release the outcomes from situations. When you're flirting with someone, you're not thinking, yeah, I have it in the bag. You're just like, whatever happens, happens. At least I talk to them, right? So your bravery could be something coming through as well, right? Where you're like, whatever happens, happens. At least I got to, you know, talk to somebody or work up the courage to say something to that person, whether it works out or not. So your bravery is also very attractive. Observation. There's something here about people observing you more so than you observing them, and what they see, they like. So you could be someone who's a little more quiet and they kind of have to look at you more to understand how you're feeling, because there's people who don't really complain. There's people who don't really say much. You know what I mean? And you kind of have to figure out, okay, are they okay or not? Because if you're upset, you're quiet. If you're happy, you're quiet. How do I know when something is wrong if you don't really say much? You know what I mean? But yeah, there's something here about you seeming a little intimidating, because with this big crow here observing the spider, it's kind of like big fish, if that makes sense. Because how can I describe it properly? Not big fish, but it's kind of like big kahuna gets with the next big kahuna. Football player gets with cheerleader. They see something like a camaraderie in you that they like, okay? Because we have the community here, so there's something about you that makes them feel comfortable enough to like let their guard down, I guess. But what I was trying to say here is how I look at a crow and get a little spooked. The same way I would look at a spider and get extra spooked. And this crow is sitting here observing what I'm assuming is you, and you may seem small and maybe meek and quiet, but you're still scary because spiders are scary. Who would not be scared of spiders besides people who aren't scared of spiders? Like, spiders terrify me. I don't like them. I don't want to say I hate them because they serve their purpose, but they terrify me, especially the big ones. Like, why are you here? Why did God make you? It makes no sense to me. You guys look scary and you are scary, right? You have poison some years, right? But there's something here about your work process, about the way you do things, your process. Okay, that intrigues them, because the crow is just sitting here watching the spider build its web. And that's one redeeming quality that I think of when I think of spiders. While they may be scary and a little ugly, they are quite creative and they are hard workers and they are someone who's capable of making something that's so beautiful. So like a fascination and intrigue when it comes to you. People just want to look at you, which is why I was getting why you're more so the prey sometimes than you are the predator. But even when you do like work up the courage to say something or do something for someone or be something for someone, it's kind of like endearing because they love the fact that you put in the effort instead of just like assuming something or not doing anything at all, right? So it's kind of like if someone comes up to you and starts flirting with you, which is what I'm getting more so the vibe of is with you guys. I'm not getting that you're the aggressor. I'm not getting that you're the flirter at all. I'm getting that people come and flirt with you. But it's the fact that you kind of open up to them and talk back to them and don't completely shut yourself off that attracts them to you. The fact that they get to know you more, and the more they get to know you, the more like invested they become in you, right? Like even, okay, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, before I forget again, how if this is, even though it's a big crow and they're walking over to you, instead of you being scared and backing down or, you know, scampering off like a little bunny, you talk to them, even if you are nervous, right? Even if you are nervous, the fact that the thing that helps you seduce people is your bravery to continue doing something even in the face of you being scared of doing that same thing, okay? So you're courageous, okay? Here we have Knight, and Knight kind of ties into the whole armor thing for you, battle-ready armor, how you are just a little bit guarded, right? Nobody's saying you don't want anybody to talk to you, but there's something like a little shy about you, right? But I think the more people get to know you, the more they see the side of you that's a little bit more mischievous, right? How did we get to 13 minutes already? Wow. My group twos, please, Spirit, my group twos. I did not shuffle. Give me a second. My group twos. How do they seduce people? You're by being there for them. That's what I'm getting. You have, even though you may not be the most natural flirt, you have a romantic charm to you that people do like. This is like giving someone supportive who is supporting their friends. So you being a friend to others is very attractive. You having a good, funny, diverse friend group is very attractive, because I'm thinking of the codename Kids Next Door, how we had number 1 Nigel, then we had number 2, I think his name was Hughie or Eugene, then we had number 3, which was Kookie, I think her name was, then we had number 4, I forgot his name, then we had a number 5, right? And they were all like a very misguided, rowdy, but also responsible, also saving the world kind of group. And they all came from like different backgrounds, but they kind of made it work, and they were all always there for each other. So if you were to ever see them with that group of friends, you would be like, oh wow, their friend group looks so cool. Like, I want to know more about them. That kind of thing. The people who you surround yourself with aids in your seduction style. Let's see what else comes out though. We have the Two of Cups. No, this is the Lovers. Why do I always, guys, this is the 4th or 5th time that I've mistaken the Lovers for the Two of Cups. The Lovers. People feel like they can talk to you. You're easy to talk to. That's what's coming through for your flirting or seduction style. That you're easy to talk to. Group 2, please, for their seduction style, please. Their seduction style. We have the Knight of Cups. That's the romance coming through again. And then here we have the King of Wands. These did come out in reverse. Here we have the Six of Pentacles. You're very giving. And then here we have the Ace of Pentacles. They see potential in you. So your seduction style is you're seen as someone who is reliable, a good friend, dependable, generous, kind, compassionate, okay? You're an observer. There's something here about you not forcing things. If you don't vibe or mesh with someone, you release it. If you are awkward in a situation, you don't dwell on it. You're like, okay, maybe next time. We'll win next time. We'll get them next time, you know? If this person didn't elect me for me, the next person will, right? I'm not stressing over it. And that's something that they find, you know, very attractive about you guys. The Knight is also something about them wanting to know more, okay? So the people you flirt with can't help but always wanting more of you, right? So you're a little bit addictive, if I might add. There could be something about they think you like poison them. Once they meet you, they kind of can't get you out of their head kind of thing. And it's because you were so wholesome and so sweet and so down to earth. They're kind of like, wow, that person really, truly affected me. Maybe you're the kind of person who's a listener while they're telling their stories and what's going on with them and why they're sad and what's going on at work. You are there listening. And that's kind of what they think of when they think of you, as someone who was there for them. You know what I mean? The Knight of Cups is romanticize the present moment every chance you get. That's the kind of person you are. You live fully in the moment, right? You live fully in the moment. I'm kind of I don't know. I'm getting the energy of someone. I don't know if I'm going to describe it, if I'm going to do the energy justice. So it's kind of giving me the beautiful friend who goes out with her friend. She's more quiet, more meek, more shy. But when she's with her friend, she's always laughing. I'm hearing her laugh as a light tinkle, kind of giving fairy-like vibes. You know what I mean? Like delicate kind of energy. Like she doesn't speak too loud. So you kind of have to lean in a little more to hear what she's saying. And I just leaned in. Like people are waiting with bated breath to see what she's saying next. But she's like a little tinkle for a laugh. And that is in and of itself is intriguing. And then like when people are complimenting her, she blushes. And it's kind of like, and then she has this mischievous twinkle in her eye when you know she's not all innocent all the time. Like that's the energy I'm getting. Someone who's easy to blush. And then when she's dancing like no one else is watching. She doesn't really care what anybody thinks of her. But like if you were to give her a compliment, she would still blush. Like there's something about that very fresh. Like I've never met this kind of person before energy that is how you seduce people. It's kind of like, wow, a breath of fresh air, refreshing. Or those are the things that are coming through for you. It's like, wow, this person, the romance has her life. It's giving the main character in the movie where, I don't want to say you're giving like, you're not giving femme fatale or vixen energy. You're giving girl next door vibes. You know what I mean? Where you come out, you live your life, you walk your dog, and your life seems like so simple. But then if someone were to look at you or have a conversation with you, they know there's so much more beneath the surface. And that little seed of curiosity kind of makes the whole tree grow of I want to know this person even more, right? You're a little more reserved. You don't really say much or too much. You kind of leave little to the imagination, whether you dress more conservatively and they're kind of like, I wonder what she looks like under that. Or I wonder what he looks like under there. It's even like bookworm. You walk with your hands wrapped around your books in school, and you have the glasses, and you're always nervously tucking your hair behind your ear. And there's just something that's just like so sweet and endearing about that kind of energy. Like you want to fall in love with that kind of person because they seem like really simple and they're not difficult. You know what I mean? But no one's life is perfect. So there's more beneath the surface, but they don't know by first glance. They want to know more, right? So it's like a little bit of there's a seed of curiosity you plant in people that it grows into a big tree of, I need to know more about this man, this woman, this bookworm. Like, what is she reading? She always has a book with her. What is she reading? She always carries around this bag. What's in the bag? She's always drinking that one drink. What is that drink? And they're trying to listen to you when you're ordering your drink at the bar, and you're just like whispering, and I'm like, what is that drink? So it's kind of giving you're a quiet person who attracts loud, more brash people. Because I'm hearing that one scene from SpongeBob where the guy is like, where's my diet Dr. Cow? I'm like, sir, please contain yourself. Who are you talking to? Like, he's like, and then, yes, exactly. And SpongeBob is so innocent because he's like, well, you didn't order a diet Dr. Cow. And the guy's like, yes, I did. Where's my drink? SpongeBob just walks away crying literally back to Squidward. And the guy and Squidward's like, wait, what's wrong? The one time he feels gentle towards SpongeBob, those are the feelings you bring out in people. Because Squidward is a mean old fool, right? But then SpongeBob comes back to him crying and all sad. He's like, what's wrong? What happened? And he's like, he didn't want it or whatever. And they went through storms. They went through all this. And Squidward saw how excited SpongeBob was to deliver this pizza. And how that guy just kind of like blew out his flame in one interaction. And then Squidward takes the whole pie of pizza and walks through the door, knocks. And the guy's like, where's my drink? And then before he can even finish his sentence, Squidward throws the pizza in his face and walks away. And I'm just like, that's the kind of energy. You ignite a protectiveness in people. So you are kind of giving that. But like I said, with the mischief coming out, there is something mischievous about you. But there was also something mischievous about the codename kid next door. But at the end of the day, they were still children. And you're kind of getting a little bit of the number 3 vibe, where when she had her moments of being like, she had indignant anger and she would stand up for herself. At the end of the day, she was a girly girl. She was she was just a baby. She was just a girl. And she loved her rainbow monkeys, right? She loved her rainbow monkey. She was very sweet, right? And number 4, loved for having to stand up to her and protect her, right? But she was also very feisty. That mix of feisty and shyness is like a drug to these people out here for you guys when it comes to how you seduce people. So you kind of like whisper, or you blush a lot, or you like compliments are hard for you to accept, but people are wondering why, because you're so beautiful or they find you so attractive. And it's kind of like, I don't know, there's just this delicate innocence to you. Okay, so it is definitely giving girl next door vibes, like number 4 in the codename Kids Next Door. How she would like have her hands always covered, like dainty by her sweater, and the skinniest little legs, the cutest little voice, right? But then when it came time to protect her friends, best believe she was, had the fire in her eyes, and she was getting crazy for her peoples, right? That's kind of what's coming through for you guys. Here we have the Ace of Pentacles, how you're maybe stable, right? You're a stable person. People can lean on you. People feel like very grounded in your energy because you're not too much. You're not really doing a lot. You know what I mean? And people can feel safe being around you. The Lover's card is will you or won't you? The choice is yours. You kind of give people a choice. But it is also just kind of giving you how she has her hand on their shoulder. She's there to comfort them, right? Very gentle, like, are you okay? What's going on with you? Tell me about you. It could be the way you're there for the people around you, right? Or you help release and relieve stress. Okay, that could be coming through as well. Then we have Knight of Cups. It says romanticize the present moment every chance you get. That's kind of what you do as well. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles, which says, wow, what an abundant opportunity. People don't want to fumble you, right? They know when they've won a treasure. They know when they found a treasure, okay? And I'm hearing treasure, dun, 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 dun. That is what you are, right? So, wow, what an abundant opportunity. People don't want to mess up the opportunity they have with you, okay? Here we have the King of Wands. You could be someone who's very friendly, but not like a over loud, wanting to be the center of attention, overzealous kind of way. It's in a very quiet way, a quiet confidence, okay? There's something here about how you want to disappear from everyone, because anytime I say quiet confidence in a reading, it immediately takes me to that song by Hunter Hayes. So your confidence is quiet, and to them quiet looks like weakness, but in their narrow mind, there's no room for anyone who dares to be something different. So listen for a minute, okay? And he goes on to say, trust the one who's been where you were, thinking all it was sticks and stones. Your words cut deep, but that doesn't mean you're all alone. You're not invisible. So you can be someone who tries to be invisible, but you're the complete opposite of that. It's kind of giving me how I love this. I was reading a book literally yesterday. It's called Quiet Type by 𝐓𝐡𝐮𝐬. Since y'all love to ask what book I'm mentioning in the reading. And it was like a guy who was mute. He couldn't speak because he had an operation when he was younger that cut out his vocal cords. It was an operation gone bad, right? And he was seeing this girl on the bus every day, and she liked him, he liked her, but they didn't speak until after maybe 6 months of seeing each other on the bus every day. There was something here about him saying how when it was in his point of view, the book was in his point of view, he was like, he doesn't understand how she thinks she's invisible, or how everybody treats her like she's invisible, because she's all he can see. And when I tell you, I was bawling down the place reading that book, child. It brought up so many emotions in me. And I'm like, oh God, I was crying. Like, I can't. But that book brought up like, so good. But yeah, Quiet Types by 𝐓𝐡𝐿𝐻, I believe it is. But yeah, that's coming through for this reading, where he was like, I don't know how anybody else can see her or not see her when she's all that I can see. There's like something that draws me to her, and I can't explain it. Anytime they would talk, she would run away from him. She wasn't anything like special in her mind, but she was everything in his mind, right? You see how the difference, you know what a difference it makes, right? That's the kind of energy coming through for you guys. I believe she also had like dyslexia again. I don't know how I always find these books, but I always find the books where somebody has something wrong with them, and it makes them even more lovable. Her mother was bad to her when she was younger. She was homeless for a bit, and like all those things in her mind made her seem unlovable. And in his mind, he was like, oh, like, wow, like I want to protect you even more because of that, right? That's the kind of meek, shy, keeps to herself, scared to get hurt, doesn't want to let anybody in. And she did have a lot of walls up, honestly. She had a lot of walls up. And she was like, I don't want to get hurt. When you get close to people, you give them the ammunition to hurt you in the end. And there was just something about him consistently showing up in her life. The book was so beautiful. Please, if you love reading in general, or romance books, whatever you want to call it, I feel like I learned more than just romance from certain books, right? But if you love those books, I highly recommend, okay? But anyway, that's what I'm getting here, where there's a fire that just attracts you, that draws a moth to a flame energy. You're the flame, they're the moth. You don't have to really say much or do much. There's just something about observing you that gets people like excited, hype. You're kind of like the night, and the night is like mysterious. It's quiet. Yes, it's beautiful. It's magical. And there's something you just can't explain about being out at night and not being able to be seen. There's a magic to the nighttime, and you're representing that magic to these people, okay? Whew. Wow. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So there's something here about you being happy on your own. That's coming through. You can't even see the card. Jeez Louise. The Nine of Pentacles. Pause and savor the results of your success. But this card is always giving you, whenever somebody needs you, you're going to be there for them. I don't know how people will know that, but I feel like the more people get to know you, the more they like fall in love with you, and that's how you seduce them. You know, it's not by anything extravagant or big. It's the quiet moments, right? The moments where it's just you and them, or where it feels like it's just you and them, right? Late at night moments as well, when they may need someone to talk to and you're there listening. Oh, this is beautiful, gorgeous, good. We have Nine of Pentacles. Pause and savor the results of your success. Yes, there's something here about the prize at the end of sticking it out when it comes to getting to know you, right? being a part of your community, right? Being able to plant seeds and say, that's my person, or I know them, that's my friend kind of thing. That's the vibe that's coming through. And I think their love in the book was very much friends to lovers. They both had a crush on each other, right? But they kept it as friends, got to know each other, they were vulnerable with each other, and then things got physical way in the end, right? So it's like you're building a foundation first before moving things too fast, okay? You're being considerate because you know someone is like maybe a little more withdrawn, or they're scared to be hurt, and it's kind of like sticking it out for them to get to know them more, right? Or waiting for them to open up, right? I'm hearing like cherry blossoms, how they only bloom once a year in the fall, I think it is, and how that's so beautiful, and how people go and travel to Japan just to see that happen. You're given that kind of beauty where it only happens once in a lifetime, once a year, and people want to be there to see that flower bloom, right? They want to be there to see you open up for them. It's so beautiful. But Nine of Pentacles, there's something here about you being patient, right? Secure in your own self. You don't really need anybody. So that's the whole thing about it. You don't really flirt because you don't want to, you don't need to. People come and find you in a way, because you seem so secure in yourself. You seem secure in your own. You don't really try to flirt with people, but when you do, it's a little awkward. So you try not to, but it's endearing at the same time. This is beautiful. Gorgeous, guys. Gorgeous. Let me hurry up. I'm way over schedule right now. We have 12th house. The mystery is coming through. 12th house is Pisces energy. You're also just very soft, okay? You care a lot, okay? You're someone who fills people up with emotions, or your capacity to feel is very attractive and seductive, okay? You have 6th house, maybe your work ethic, right? Maybe you're always clean. I'm hearing hygienic, okay? So you be smelling clean, looking clean, well put together vibes, right? We have Leo, your heart, which is coming through a little bit in group 1, but in a different way. Your heart is what makes people attracted to you, the way you are there for your friends, your family, the people in your life, okay? We have North Node coming through again. This came through group 1. It's giving fate. It's giving destiny, who you're meant to be. You're giving someone people were meant to meet, okay? We have Leo, a freaking again, guys. Stop playing. Leo, your heart, your hair can be attractive as well. 6th house is Virgo, and Virgo just always gives me, well, your stomach as well. I'm hearing health. Maybe you eat healthy, or your workout routine, you put a lot of effort into how you look, whether it's in the gym or eating healthy or working out every day kind of thing. You take care of yourself. That's that 9 of Pentacles. You take care of yourself. You rest. She's eating an apple, literally. And I'm bringing a lot of earth energy here, period. We have Jupiter coming through, which is abundance, expansion, that kind of thing. So it's like there's something here about you that just screams stable, secure, wants to help, needs to help, will be there for you, will help you grow. It like can literally is this spider growing their web. Someone who's good at building connections and keeping connections. Because in this card here, we have a very intricate, roots, and then it's growing into a beautiful tree that's housing all of these beautiful crows. You hold space for people, okay? And that's how you seduce people. You're not giving like a very quiet, a loud seduction style. You're giving a very quiet, over the years, over the months of getting to know you, people fall in love with you. People observe you from afar and see how you are and your work ethic and what you do, and that makes them fall for you even more. How you work, how you expand, how you build. That's coming through very heavily, okay? But I'm gonna leave your reading right here. And there's just a softness to you, a femininity, I would say. A softness, a quietness, an emotiveness. You're a very emotional kind of person. You keep to yourself. You're also very private, 12th house. And there's something here about you just like holding space for people. If they're not feeling good, you're holding space for them. If they are feeling good, you're just always there. You're a calming, soothing presence for people. And that's very seductive to your people, okay? So I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe we'd love to have. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 3s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 3, or however you find yourself here, welcome. Today's reading is going to be about your seduction style. How do you seduce people around you? Why are people seduced by you? What is it that you do? How you act? Stuff like that. Oh no, already I'm hearing it's the way that you act. So it could be the way that you act, okay? However that is, you would know yourself better than me, but we're gonna try to pick up on the energy of the way that you act. And that's funny. Cool, that was like maybe there's something here about social media. Maybe you guys could have like how rude. Look at this. As soon as I say social media, we have something about witches should hold other witches accountable. I feel so bad for the one being held accountable, period. Get her. Oh my gosh, I can't. You guys can be funny because I don't know why I'm laughing so ridiculously. I'm laughing at myself because I'm ridiculous. So you guys are funny, okay? Because people tell me all the time that I'm funny, that I really still don't see it, but I can see how I, the things that I say, how I do can be funny to people. So, but I do find myself laughing at myself quite often. So I can see how I'm funny. But anyway, yeah, so there's something here about you holding other people accountable. There's also something about you that's funny. So you literally laugh people's pants off, okay? I also heard there's something about you that's feisty. So people are like seduced by your feisty, funny nature. All the F's, right? Feisty, funny, okay? Flirty, I'm hearing as well. But there's something here about shame. Maybe you are someone who's been judged a lot in your life, or the finger has been pointed at you, or disdain has been descended upon you. Let me stop. But people look at you and there's something about you that you do, how you act, whatever, that makes them shake their head, and you are still unapologetically yourself anyway. So in the face of like adversity, you rise to the occasion, and like you can still soothe yourself or make people laugh, or rise to the occasion is what I'm hearing. But yeah, there's something about you that people are scared of, like being on the opposite side of your ire. And I heard ire specifically, okay? So it's like your anger, your disappointment, stuff like that. So we have that coming through because we have all the people pointing at her and they all look the same, right? And it's just like, what did she do? The Seven of Wands doesn't usually mean this though. Seven of Wands means you're on the defense, you're protecting yourself. So the way you maybe protect yourself or protect other people around you is the vibe that I'm getting from you. That's how you seduce people, or the way you protect them. Okay? Yeah. Like, it's kind of giving me, I don't want to keep using the same example every single time, but it's like how the girlfriend is always the more outspoken one in the connection. And if her boyfriend's food comes back wrong, he didn't order that. Or if a girl is talking to your man too much, or, talking to your friend too much or bothering her, we're not going to make this all about love and relationships. You're going to be the first person to, like, get up and defend that person. If someone in general is being picked on, they're on their own by themselves. You're the first person to go over and talk to them, make them feel not so lonely. So it's the fact that you may have dealt with such ire, loneliness, that you don't want other people to experience it. So you kind of like, you're very compassionate and helpful towards other people. And that's how you seduce people, okay? Also something here about your good, your defense. So some of you here could play football, or you play football. But when I think of defense, I think of football. But it's also the way you defend yourself and others around you, okay? The way you protect yourself. Let's see what else comes through for you guys. Spirit, can you describe their seduction style to me? We have the Chariot. I'm hearing your fearless nature. There's something about the Chariot that screams fearless. Okay? This is someone who's going to get up and do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, and they really don't care what other people think. There's leadership qualities to the Chariot, okay? He is the commander who's leading the army in the war. He's the one who has come up with the strategy. He's come up with the game plan to make sure they win, okay? So there's something here about your smarts coming through. I'm hearing cunning, okay? So some of you may have felt called to another group, okay? Because that word came through in another group, or maybe it was another reading. I'm not 100% sure at this point. Okay, all the days are kind of like melding together. So maybe you help people lose track of time. They get lost in like your energy, your funniness. They get lost in like laughter. You know what I mean? But it's kind of giving you the kind of funny person who isn't a pushover, okay? I'm hearing you're kind of giving like a very healing quality. You heal through laughing, or your ease, or people feel just like, a little safe being around you. Whether it's because you like openly or actively defend them or others, or it's just something about being around you that makes others feel safe, because you may be someone who's like very bossy. Like the Chariot card is very bossy. He's like, no, we're going here, we're doing this, we're doing that. So there's something to be said for men or women who hate making decisions, to be with someone who can make all the decisions and the game plans, and someone like, you're the planner. We'll leave it at that. You're the friend that's planning everything, okay? You're the boyfriend or girlfriend that's planning everything. You're daughter that's planning everything. You plan the whole trip, the itinerary, where you're staying, how you're getting there, how you're getting back. So when people are with you, the fact that you love making all the decisions and they don't have to make any other decisions is very seductive, because when someone has everything together, okay, and they plan everything, you don't have to worry about nothing. That feeling for a man or a woman, oh, it's top tier. I can just tag along and I know everything was handled already. Oh, you handle your business, group threes, and we love that for you. Okay, I love that for you. The people around you love that about you as well. So there's something like very masculine. I'm hearing in demand, in charge about you. Okay. I'm hearing other adjectives as well, like all consuming about your energy. It's kind of like you just come up and people get like swept, gone away with the wind when you're around. You know what I mean? They get swept up, swept away. I was hearing tsunami, tornado. I'm going to use my usual Tasmanian devil reference. We have the Knight of Cups. You're just giving me a lover of life, honestly. Someone who loves doing things, going places, experiencing new things. Activities, hobbies, vacations, traveling. Someone who loves doing those things and planning those things. To a specific person, that traveling, wandering spirit, like always getting ready to get up and go somewhere. There's something very seductive and sexy about that kind of person. Okay, we all have our types. Okay, we are all put in these categories for what makes us attractive or seductive or whatever. And your category is the outgoing traveler who's always never home. They're always going here, there, and everywhere. You're always trying to bring your friends on trips with you. You love life. You're dancing. I'm seeing someone's like just dancing in the street. You know, they love the wind in their hair. I'm hearing someone who's dancing in the rain as well. That's something I love to do. Like when it's raining, like why am I running inside? It's literally just water. Like that's what I tell people, you know? I'm hearing a mermaid. I just heard H2O, just add water. Like whenever they would get hit by water, they would turn into like a mermaid and they would be able to travel wherever they want. There's something here about you like being, I'm hearing a nymph. It's something about you being like a fantasy character, you know what I mean? I'm hearing an anime character as well, so you could look very, you know, beautiful, because those characters are all known for being seductive and getting men under their trance. The nymphs, the fairies, the sirens, the mermaids, stuff like that. But nymph most likely came through for you guys. Let me look up what that word means specifically. Okay, so I didn't even have to specify talking about like fairies and mermaids, because a nymph, okay, is represented as beautiful maidens dwelling in the mountains, forests, trees, and water. So you out here everywhere. Okay. A mythological spirit of nature imagined as a beautiful maiden inhabiting rivers, woods, and other locations. Okay. So that's what's coming through. You be everywhere. You be in the mountains, the forests, the trees, the waters, the plains, the boats. Like, ma'am or sir, what do you be doing out here? You're the traveling free spirit person dancing in the rain whenever it rains. You're also very attractive when you do those things because it draws people to you. So you have like a very carefree nature to you, okay? But there was also something that I was hearing. No, not hearing. I was looking up nymph and another, you know, Nymphadora Tonks from, bruh. I'm getting tongue tied. So people can get tongue tied around you. You make them nervous. They don't really know what to say to you. That can be a thing as well. Because when you're someone who's like very well traveled, or you know a lot of things, you've been around the block a few times, you can be like very mature as well, but in the way of experiences, okay? You know, when you're talking to someone who's been everywhere and done everything, you're kind of like, what do I say to them? How do I keep their attention? And that kind of ties into the whole intimidatingness that could come through for you guys as well, with the Chariot card coming through. You're giving someone who's always in control. You're giving someone who's in demand. You're giving someone who's a hot commodity. You're always going here, there, and everywhere, especially if you're like giving someone who works in the field of traveling or always getting asked to go somewhere. It's giving a DJ who travels around the world and like does stuff at different venues, or an influencer who gets invited on brand trips, or, you know, stuff like that is the vibe that's coming through for you guys. You're always traveling, you're always going places, and that in and of itself is a very seductive and sexy thing. It's for people especially who would love to travel and be you and do those things with you, right? You could like take people on trips for free, or you bring them along with you if you are the kind of person who like your job pays for you to go places, right? You're like, oh, it's fine. You can just come along with me. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Especially if it's like you're getting a boat reserved for you or a car reserved for you. Just meet me at my place. You know what I mean? We'll go over together kind of thing. So people experience new, exciting things with you. I'm hearing like a sizzle. There's like an electricity in the air. That kind of energy is coming through for you guys. But back to what I was saying about seeing 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐿. She was a very like wild, the total opposite of the person she ended up marrying, which was, Lupin. And he was very reserved, very studious, you know what I mean? Kind of like buttoned up, you know? Um, I want to say like tight, you know what I mean? Stiff. He's a stiff, someone who like follows the rules, doesn't go out of the ordinary, doesn't step out of the line, out of the box, that kind of thing. And then he married 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐿, who was the complete opposite of that kind of energy. She said whatever she wanted. She wasn't afraid to put somebody in their place. She was a great auror. That's what it was called in Harry Potter. Who was good at their job, that kind of thing. So you're kind of someone people underestimate, I feel like sometimes, and when they're surprised, or when they're not surprised, when they're shown differently. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. See, there's something here about people like placing, not holds on you, placing false narratives on you. Oh, she can't read. She's always traveling. Or, you know what I mean? She was always just a party girl. Or something like that. People not seeing you for who you actually are. That's definitely something that's coming through. But I'm trying to see if y'all don't move. Let's see if they tell us anything about her. Oh, she was a Hufflepuff. Okay, so you are very loyal. You may love food, that kind of thing. You're just getting like a very comfy, cozy kind of vibe to you, but also like carefree and knows how to have a good time as well. So she was a Hufflepuff, okay? She was a talented auror whose mentor was a well-known, Mad-Eye Moody. So look at that. You're a little eccentric is the perfect word. Out of the box thinking, that kind of thing. She might have been rather clumsy, almost failing her stealth and tracking training, but she still excelled at her job and took the business of defeating dark wizards further as a member of the Order of the Phoenix, okay? Tonks was also born a metamorph magus, and had the ability to change her appearance at will. Interesting. So yeah, she was a metamorphagus. Whatever I want to call that, okay? And that's what's coming through for you guys. You like change different things. You change into different things. Or you're always doing something different, okay? Or always embarking on a new journey. You're never staying one place for long. That's the vibe that's coming through. And the Chariot is that kind of go, go, go energy. It's not staying still for long. So your energy is like very hyper, right? It's the kind of vibe that's coming through. You're a very energetic person. That's what I'm getting for you guys. Let's see another card before we move on to the Oracle. What makes my group 3 seductive? Okay, what is their seduction style? So just being free, going wherever the wind takes you, being adventurous, being full of energy as well. I love how we have the Hermit in reverse. That doesn't take away from your mind, though. You're very smart and you like to spend time by yourself. And that's perfectly explained by the Two of Pentacles. You kind of weigh those two parts of yourself quite, not easily, but you're sometimes like a very studious person. It's funny how I was mentioning Remus Lupin, right? So it's kind of like you are someone, it's not giving goody two shoes, okay? But you're definitely someone who's like a wild side, but you also have like a very soft, quiet, studious side to you as well. And you're able to balance it quite well as well, okay? So the second card said the Chariot. You'll never get anywhere if you keep standing still. You're always moving on the go. You never stop, whether it's in your pursuits or just in general. You can't sit still for long, that kind of thing. That kind of infectious bouncing on the apple of your feet kind of energy, Is it called apple? No, it's balls of your feet. I'm so sorry. There could be something here about you eating healthily. You know, you eat apples. Apples, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, or so we were told when we were younger, right? Here we have the Knight of Cups. So there is something like there's a romanticness to you, okay? And it is someone who romanticizes their life. And that's what's coming through here. You romanticize your life. You're always traveling, literally on the beach, right? So there's definitely something about you inhabiting many different energies. Because like I said, Nymphadora was metamorphicus. You know, she changed into different things. She was able to become many different things. And then she also has a nymph in her name, which was coming through for you earlier as well. So you could have like colored hair, okay? There is something very seductive about you in teasing, right? How the nymphs would like kind of grab men and have them dancing around them, and people will get intoxicated by that energy, right? Oh my gosh, they're so giggly and they're so happy and they're so upbeat and they want to dance and travel. They can't stay one place for long, and they're inhabiting nature. They are a spirit of nature, okay? So it's kind of like wherever there's nature, they would be, and nature's all around us. So your energy, kind of like I said, yeah, all consuming, period. Yeah, that came through earlier. But then we have the Hermit card, which is the Virgo energy. So there is times where you're more thoughtful and quiet, okay? Even though the Hermit card did come out in reverse. You know what I mean? But because you were coming through as someone who can morph into many different things, we'll go with it, okay? Hermit is Virgo energy. Your attention to detail. I think you notice small things about people and you're good at giving compliments. So if someone changed your hair recently, oh my gosh, your hair looks so nice. You know what I mean? You notice the small things about people. That's very seductive in my opinion, okay? And then we have the Two of Pentacles. It's like giving, she's some of this, but she's also some of that. He's some of this, and he's also some of that. Because, you know, some people are quite indecisive with what they want in a person. Do they want to, because sometimes you have to choose, right? You have to find someone who's adventurous or someone who's quiet and studious. When you can find someone who's both for people who can't decide, that's kind of like winning the jackpot, and it's very seductive, okay? Someone who's able to sit down and shut up sometimes, and then someone who can never be quiet about what they love and what they do. There's something here about hobbies, doing many different things, reading many different books, going on many different adventures, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And that's very seductive to some people, okay? But I am hearing an infectious laugh as well. So it's the kind of laugh that people have to stop and listen. Like, did we really just hear that? There's this one lady, I'm not even gonna lie. when me and my friend go out sometimes, we go out to like this event where you like play a bunch of board games and, you know, meet new people. And there's this one lady we've seen quite often there, and she has I don't know if it's weird or cool laugh. Like whenever she laughs, it sounds like a horn. Like her hand hurt. Like I can't even describe it. Like a literal like bicycle horn, and every time you hear it, you know she's around. Because you're kind of like, no one else has that freaking laugh. Like, where is she? Where is she? Okay, so there's something like just stands out about your laugh, your voice, something like that. Okay. But I'm like, girl, like, why you laugh like that? And like, not to like be a bully or anything, but I'm like, girl. And sometimes we're convinced she does it on purpose, because how can you laugh and that noise comes out of you? Okay, just say you want attention, ma'am, and there's nothing wrong with that, but please relax. But anyway, she just be like sound like a honking horn, like when you squeeze the horn on a unicycle, whatever you want to call it, or like a clown car or something. How it makes that little beeping noise, and I'm like, girl, how can you make that noise with your mouth? Like, I don't even know if it's your mouth. Like when you laugh, it comes from your stomach, your diaphragm. How can your diaphragm make that noise? It's not making sense to me. But that's coming through. You're a really good time, right? You're funny, you make people laugh, you keep the energy in the room high, okay? And that's literally what she's kind of doing here. She's like using the pentacles and keeping one low and one high. So you like regulate people's, you know, moods, that kind of thing. When they're around you, everything may seem a little bit better or not. And Hufflepuff was known for, it's funny how people like try to modernize the houses, and they're kind of like the Hufflepuffs were the people that was smoking ganja in the room, and they were just eating food. They were always high all the time, is what the Hufflepuffs were, you know, categorized as. Like, they weren't really that big on school or anything, but you would find them in the cafeteria or in their common room smoking and just getting high all the time. And I'm like, really? I'm like, it makes sense. You know what I mean? They were fun. They were a good time, but they were mostly just like, very chill vibes to be around. They weren't in drama. They weren't judging you. That's the kind of vibe. People don't feel judged by you. People only feel uplifted. You're very good at, like I said, at giving compliments to people and making them feel seen, right? And that's what's coming through for your seduction style. Let's see what else comes through for my group threes, please, Spirit. What is coming through for this seduction style, please? We have displacement. Yeah, there's something here about you making people who would normally feel out of place feel comfortable. Feeling like, because there's something here about you not fitting in. So you, like I said, if someone is sitting by themselves, you're the person that's going over to them like, hey, you need da, 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 da. Like, you're the extrovert that adopts introverts. Is what I just heard specifically. There's always that one person who goes out and just adopts an introvert, and the introvert is forced to go places and do things and get them out of their shell. And it could be things they've always wanted to do, but they were afraid to do by themselves. You kind of like give them the experience of having fun with someone who's not only, you know what I mean, someone who befriended them, but you're also someone who's giving them a new experience, and that's sexy, whether you're a female or masculine. Giving someone an experience they've never had before is very sexy and seductive, okay? So here we have resistance. I don't think you go along with what society thinks is okay or cute. You do your own thing. And then we have influence. And that's funny how I was mentioning influencer. And literally in the freaking card, we have the freaking crow smoking. So you are that airhead, not airhead, I'm not going to say that because that's like seems a negative thing, but you are that pothead that's like walking around always high, having shower thoughts, having high thoughts, like you're always getting the munchies, you know what I mean? Like there's something like just very chill, cool, but also fun and adventurous and exciting about you. Like I said, you're noticing the small things. Like if someone's in the corner by themselves, let's go talk to that person. You go talk to them and you make a new friend, and this person was like, like didn't even want to leave the house. You know what I mean? They were scared to leave the house, but they did for whatever reason, and they made a new good friend in you. This is gonna make me cry. Stop it. You make people feel like included, seen, heard, that kind of thing, in a world where it's very easy to feel very alone and judged, especially in this Wands card, judged and ridiculed and talked down to. That's something that is very common in today's world, and you kind of give them a place to be themselves with no judgment. Okay, and I'm hearing the song by Now Horan. When I'm with you, no judgment. You can get that from everyone else. Oh no, when you're with me, no judgment. Sorry. Whatever. When you're with me, no judgment. You can get that from everyone else. We don't need to say nothing. We can just be ourselves. You allow people to be themselves, and that's very seductive. Okay? So no judgment by Now Horan is coming through, but this displacement is giving me 5 of Pentacles energy. So you give them a place to go, a place to feel safe, a sanctuary, to be themselves, right? Okay. We have the influence card. You could also be very chesty, sorry, because I just like fix mine because they were getting a little crazy, right? There's something about that coming through. And the things that are attached to the ends of the boobs, the N-word if you're grown, that's attractive about you as well. They could be very fluffy or puffy, whatever it is, but they could be very visible sometimes as well, and that's like something that people are like mesmerized by, right? Yeah, maybe it shows through your bra even. That's how, apparent they can be. That's something that was coming through. Sorry. This was not supposed to go that way, but it came through, right? Anyway, yes. It's kind of giving the person who is like pestering. I don't want to say annoying. The person who's like pestering you to try something new. Then when you finally try it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than I expected. And you're like, right? People are with you. They're laughing, having a good time. It's giving like I'm in a car with someone riding down the road on a road trip. Who would you want to be with? Group 3s. Because they're going to have you laughing. They're going to be singing along to the music, screaming out the window. When you guys stop to get gas, you're going to be dancing around the car, waiting for the gas to be done. It's like just a person that brings life to whatever room they're in, dancing, laughing, goofing off, smoking, eating, and just doing it so freely that you don't really care who's seeing you or who's not seeing you, what they're saying about you, that kind of thing, Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that for you, honestly. And then we have resistance. And this is that vibe of you like not giving up or folding under the pressure or judgment of anyone, okay? Because this is a bird flying against the resistance of the wind. And we know the wind can be very strong, okay? The strongest person in the world could still be like knocked down on their booty by some wind or even swept away in the wind. It's funny how I was comparing you to like a tornado or even a tsunami in my head, and that's kind of what was coming through here, a storm that's overtaking the bird, but the bird is still persevering, okay? There's something here about you drinking and smoking as well. That's coming through very heavily. That could be something you do that people love that about you. It's not sexy in my opinion, right? But it can be sexy. It's very much romanticized on television to, oh, a smoker and a drinker, yeah. But in real life, it's not cute. But maybe you do it in a way where it is attractive. I don't know. Maybe you can hold your liquor and hold your drink and you're not getting all loosey goosey and And then here we have fear. So people do fear you. People are a little scared of you. You are very intimidating, which I did mention with the Chariot card here. There's something intimidating about you that people don't want to cross, which is why you're the person that chooses to defend everyone else. Maybe it's because you choose to defend everyone else that you're seen as someone who's like, a little scary with the fear card coming through, okay? Because it's also funny how scarecrows are meant to scare away the birds, but the crow is sitting on the hat. So maybe you're someone who people are supposed to find scary, but they find like very nice and chill to be around instead. Because the birds should be flying away in fear, but it's not. It's chilling, relaxing. Okay, let's get some cards from here and see what comes through for you guys. We have Smoky Quartz, Let It Go. So come on, let it go. Just let it be. Why don't you be you and I'll be me? Let the ashes fall. Look at that. Smoking ashes keep coming through. Forget about me. That song is coming through though by James Bay, Let It Go. We have these two cards here. We have the Agate, which is get back into balance. And I love how we have the Two of Pentacles. It's the way you balance your life. The way you're able to be like very responsible with the Hermit card coming through. So you do your work, you do your due diligence, right? But then you also know how to let loose at the end of the day, okay? Okay. And I love how this is the card where I mentioned the Selkie. Last time I remember, I never read her shirt before, but I read it in one reading and I figured out a Selkie is a woman who can turn from like a seal into a woman, and they're seen as like very like seductive and playful and stuff like that. So that could be something that's coming through for you guys. Let me see if I can look it up again if it's gonna give me the same definition. It says these creatures, particularly female Selkies, are often depicted as beautiful and graceful, drawn to the sea and capable of captivating song. Many stories revolve around a human being stealing a Selkie's skin, forcing her into marriage, and the subsequent longing and eventual return to sea. So yeah, there's something here about nymphs, mythological creatures, what you're giving, right? You're giving not out of this world, but someone who is just enchanting, that kind of thing. Like I said, I was mentioning the fairies, the nymphs, the mermaids, stuff like that. You're kind of giving a mythological creature, and that in and of itself is kind of like something that's not supposed to be real, but it is real because you are representing that energy, or you're embodying that energy, right? Okay, that's coming through. But yeah, Two of Pentacles is Selkie. Maybe you could have admirers from the sea. I'll be out in the sea, not admiring, attracting sirens and things. Y'all better run for your life, child. That ain't cute. I don't like that. They're gonna steal you. We have Lemurian quartz, so we have two quartz coming through. We have practice patience, so maybe you are someone who's very patient with people as well. And it's funny how I haven't really been getting too crazy during this reading. And I'm sure if you've watched my channel before, you're not gonna get very animated, right? I've been very like chill the whole time, and it is definitely giving smoking, the green, whatever y'all want to call it, smoking that green stuff, and like being very chill after the fact, and like having those like philosophical, crazy, out there shower thoughts, like stuff like that is what's coming through for you. That's why I'm getting like a very chill vibe. That's either the effect you have on people, you're acting as the ganja to them, or it's something that you indulge in, right? That people find seductive. But there's just something about it that's unexpected. You kind of change the energy in the room around, and that's something that's very seductive. Your scene is beautiful because we have the nymph coming through, and then we have the Selkie coming through. But like I said, they're both mythological creatures, and they both dwell in nature. So you're definitely giving someone who's very natural, maybe natural beauty, very grounded. You don't really care what people think about you. You don't try to just dress up to impress anyone, that kind of thing. Let me get the dice out. We have the seventh house is giving romantic charm, romantic relationship. You're giving someone who is seen as great romantic potential. Okay, so people would love to be in a relationship with you, or the people who are in a relationship with you. I just heard something funny. It's like you could easily seduce people into a relationship with you because they're already wondering what that would be like, you know? Since you fulfill so many of their fantasies already, they want to know what other fantasies you could fulfill. That's funny because you're coming through as a fantasy. But it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. That song coming through again when I close my eyes. Fantasy by Mariah Carey. So you are giving a fantasy person. It's like someone who's, like I said, not supposed to be real, but you are real, and that's very seductive. Because wait, where did you come from? That kind of thing. But like I said, you could easily seduce people into connections with you because if you already fulfilled a fantasy for them by being real, what else can you fulfill for them? That kind of thing. So you keep them guessing and wondering, which is also very seductive, right? There's also something here about teasing as well. A Knight of Cups is also someone who is very hopeless romantic-y. So that could be something coming through for you guys as well. The Hermit card is also going to be someone who reads a lot. So you could read a lot very well, but you're also someone who like looks very comfy. It's definitely giving, like I said, the best of both worlds. You can get dressed up and dolled up and look really cute, but you can also look really comfortable as well. The Hermit card is swinging a pendulum, so there could be something here about you being into the spiritual arts as well. You're putting down your phone and doing things that kind of nourish your spirit instead, right? Which is why you're giving a natural state, right? A natural beauty. You're not putting on too much makeup and doing too much. Not that putting on a lot of makeup is doing too much, but in these cards, all these women are looking like very barefaced, natural, okay? Here we have Aries, which is that chair energy, going after what you want, being very lively, very bold, very impulsive, right? Very excitable. Here we have the Aquarius energy, which is that kind of eccentric energy that was coming through, something that makes you different, that makes you stand out, whether it's the way you dress or the way that you act. Like I said in the beginning, it's the way that you act. Okay? We have the 4, we have Jupiter coming through here. 4 could be important for you. 4 represents stability around people feeling safe, secure around you. Chill, right? No pressure is what I just heard as well. You don't pressure people to do things. You let things happen naturally, unfold naturally. But Jupiter is all about expansion. It's all about luck, okay? And it's all about ninth house energy, which always gives me like mythical creatures and mythology kind of vibe. You know what I mean? I'm hearing Greece in particular, but it's giving all the mythologies, Norse, Greek, Roman, all those things like that are coming through very heavily. That could be something you're into that people find attractive, okay? Then we have 7th house again. Wow. So you're definitely giving a perfect like girlfriend or boyfriend. That's what makes you seductive. You seduce people with that. And then here in the corner, we have Venus. Okay? So very beautiful. Like, yeah, very naturally attractive is what's coming through for you guys. And I love that for you because period, I've heard beautiful, gorgeous. Like it's definitely giving beauty, charm, aesthetic, because Venus is all things that we kind of like romanticize in life. So you're someone people just romanticize in general, or your life is like a very charmed life. You know what I mean? People may think you have actual magic, right? There's something here about like beauty. Is it beauty spells? No. It's glamour. That's what it's called. There's something here about that. People think that you like bewitch them in a way because of your beauty and the way you act and just your personality and your looks in general. Like I said, you know what I mean? People feel like there's like a air of like seductress to you guys. Where it's like you just look at someone, they will like melt and fold under you, but you don't really use it to your advantage, or maybe you do, because you were coming through with the Selkie and the nymphs, and nymphs are known for like, not luring men to their deaths, but they're used to like getting the party lively and bringing men into their orbit, and men not never wanting to leave, right? I'm trying to think of like I'm thinking of like a specific thing where I'm getting that demon guy from Buffy, the musical episode, where he came and made everybody dance and sing so they died. So it's kind of like you're the life of the party and getting everybody to sing and dance, and you know what I mean? Your energy never running out, but theirs like running out. You know, that kind of thing? Like, when you're going to release me from these shackles of being around you? Like, when will I stop being so enchanted and charmed and hypnotized by you? That kind of thing. So you are definitely a mythological creature, okay? But like I said, it's giving glamour magic, where people think you put a spell on them or you do something to make you extra magnetic when you probably you don't. You just live life. And that's what comes through for you naturally, okay? But I'm going to leave you reading right here. I hope it resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. I'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me. Use my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 4s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 4 or just you found yourself here, you don't know how, then welcome to your reading. Today's reading is going to be about what are your seductive traits? How do you seduce people? No, what is your seduction style? Sorry, same thing, honestly. How do you seduce people? Why are you so seductive to people? All of those things we're going to be getting into in today's reading. So we're going to hop right into it. The fact that I feel like the things that I say in the beginning of the reading or just randomly throughout the reading turns out resonating with people. So the whole, or if you just find yourself here randomly, welcome, that kind of thing. You could be a bit of a random person. People don't know what to expect or what you're going to do next, you know, a little unpredictable, you know, it's kind of giving Uranus vibes where it's like unexpected, unpredictable changes, outbursts, situations, stuff like that. There could be something about you that's like giving lost lamb or lost dog. You want to help them, that kind of thing. Right now, that's just me channeling. So whatever resonates, take it. If it does, if it doesn't, then, you know, leave it where it's at. But we're going to see what comes through in the cards and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, but right now it's definitely giving like lost lamb. It's giving, that movie that was on Netflix, the 365 days, where he was like, "Are you lost, baby girl?" Like, sir, no, she wasn't. Thank you. But it's kind of giving that. You could be giving like baby girl. So cute, baby girl. Let me stop. I hate that part of the song. Ugh, that song is so annoying. Sorry. Just a little bit all over the place, random. Now I'm hearing like random dancing from iCarly. Oh my gosh, things are getting hectic, I swear. Okay, so it's definitely, I hope it's resonating so far. If it's not, you have 3 other readings to choose from, okay? But right now it's giving random, it's giving hectic, it's giving out of the blue, unexpected. That could be a part of your character, your personality, your seduction style, that people are just like, you could like say random things. You could walk up to people, you could use funny voices, use out of the ordinary flirting tactics, like, you know, maybe dancing awkwardly, standing awkwardly, saying things weirdly in a weird voice, like just being, you know, out of the box, kind of weird, but in like a very good way, because this is what is seducing people around you. Okay, so stuff that is coming through. But yeah, random dancing was a part of the show iCarly, which, if you don't know, was a web series. It was the influencing before we became a literal influencing, like, not population, generation, world, you know. It was Harley who like had like a internet show, and her and her best friend would like just talk and do skits and literally what people are doing now and making money off of it. And on the show, they would have like Sam, her best friend, would have like a random remote, and she would press the remote, and then a guy would say random dancing, and she would press the button sporadically throughout the show, so you would never know when it was coming, right? That's kind of what I'm getting. People don't know what you're going to say next, what you're going to do next, a little bit unpredictable, right? So all those things are coming together to say all of that. Now let's get some cards before I chat too much. Okay. What makes my group 4 so attractive? We have the Judgment card, and Judgment is unexpected cycles, changes, twists and turns on your journey through life, tests, you know what I mean? So maybe you kind of test people, maybe you do trivia, that kind of thing. With the Judgment card, as well as the Knight of Wands, is like a very adventurous, unpredictable kind of person, a little not self-absorbed, but it's like you don't know what he's gonna do next, right? So basically what I have been saying already. But the Judgment card is definitely an energy of The Knight of Wands also kind of gives me everything revolves around him. So like kind of like magnetic, charismatic kind of person who you can't help but gravitate towards because of their exuberance, their weirdness, their outgoingness, that kind of thing, okay? So you're kind of giving a little bit of like Sam from iCarly. If you know the show, you would understand what I mean. She was a bit intense. She was a bit, she... She had less than normal ways of handling situations. So, for example, she would walk around with a butter sock and she would beat people with a sock full of butter. And she would just like attack people, jump on them. So maybe you're like a very physically aggressive flirter or seducer. Who knows? It's wrestling, fighting, banter back and forth, but like in a teasing, almost cruel, mean kind of way, if you want to talk about it like that. Because that makes a lot of sense. Because if we're going to stay on that example of Sam, she ended up being in a relationship with Freddie, which was also another one of Carly's friends, who was like a next door neighbor more so than a friend. But he would like film the show and she would bully him like brutally throughout the show. She would call him names and all this kind of stuff, physically bully him, stuff like that. And then they ended up together more towards the end of the show. And it was kind of like a front because she came from a less than desirable, less than lovable household. So she kind of had that mean armor, stay away from me. I've had a hard life kind of, energy to her. And Freddie was the complete opposite, child. So maybe you go for people who are the complete opposite to you, right? Freddie was more so, his mother was very overprotective, very coddling. She did everything for him. He came from like a very loved household. And she came from the opposite. So she would make fun of him, bother him. It could have been for a bunch of reasons. We never really got into it in the show. But as someone who, likes to get into psychology and stuff like that, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why she was like picking on him specifically. Like she wasn't even as mean to Gibby. And I feel like Gibby was like more weird than her, He would walk around shirtless, that kind of stuff. He was also another character in iCarly if you don't know the show. But Gibby was more so like a very weird, eccentric kind of kid. And Freddie was really kind of normal. But she's the person he would bother the most. So I guess you're mean to the people you like, which was a thing they told girls growing up about if, a guy likes you, if he's mean to you on the playground, if he pushes you down, and you wonder why women are so dysfunctional in our big age. Like, you told us that men being mean to us and bullying us was them liking us. Now you wonder why we stay with guys that don't pay us no mind, is mean to us. It's not making any sense to me. So that's kind of what's coming through, though. You guys are getting Sam and Freddie. Where Freddie was like very normal, very kind, very nice kid, but she would just like bully him endlessly, She would not leave him alone, child. But they ended up like kissing each other, like being in a relationship for a good amount of seasons on the show. But her flirting style was being mean to someone, right? Teasing them, that kind of thing, okay? So very much giving judgment, where you can be judgy if we're talking about judgment, right? Or you have a very good judgment or judge of character, okay? And it could lead to some people thinking that you're judging them, okay? Judgment still at the bottom of the deck. Let's see what else comes through for you guys. We have the Sun. We have the Seven of Cups. So maybe we have a bunch of different flirting styles, because the Seven of Cups is having options, right? I just heard fine-tuning your flirting style or seduction style to fit who you're flirting with or trying to seduce, right? So if you're seducing a nice guy, you're going to be mean. If you're seducing a mean guy, you're going to be nice. I don't freaking know the logic behind your flirting or seduction style, but it's kind of giving you have different, tricks hidden up your sleeve to get them to, fall for you. Here we have the Nine of Wands, so relentless. Whatever you do, you're relentless at it, right? Whether it's the touching, overly feeling, overly teasing, that kind of thing. We have the Four of Wands. We have the Temperance. These are all the opposite of what, but they're all coming out in reverse, honestly. Like, I'm flipping them over, okay? So these three at the bottom, I think, came out in reverse. As well as the Nine of Wands. But the Sun was upright, I do believe, okay? So it's something, like, magnetic and attractive about you, even though you could come off a little intense, right? Some of you could look like Sam from iCarly, the blonde hair. I think her eyes were green. Like, she developed really nicely in the show and became very, curvaceous, right? That's something that came later on, though. She was a very gangly teenager. But when she turned grown, they could no longer hide her curves in the show. So you could be someone who's very curvy, right? You're definitely someone who doesn't like a lot of attention. So you kind of like beat them off with a stick, or you have to beat them off with a stick. You could literally beat them off with a stick. I don't freaking know. It's giving physical aggression coming through here for you guys. Having like maybe anger behind your seduction style. I don't know, but that kind of vibe is coming through for you guys, right? But yeah, the Seven of Cups is you having like many different seduction styles. You're just choosing which one works in the moment. Okay, I do believe you follow your emotions. So you're a very emotive kind of person. You feel very deeply, and those are usually what I've been saying for years now are the people who are the most later. They're the ones who are the most mean, hardened, right? Because they have been affected so strongly by the world, they have had to make a bigger shell, right? And it's like tying into the whole Cancer archetype, where the Cancer is a crab with a hard shell, but the inner shell is all just muscle and mush. So they have to have a hard outer shell to protect the soft interior of them, okay? So that is definitely something coming through for you guys. Then we have Temperance. You're giving nonchalant, guys. Your seduction style is like nonchalant. You act like you don't like somebody. Here she is peeking from behind her flower. Some of you are giving girly and cutesy, right? And then others of you are giving just like mean ball buster kind of energy, right? Like you like, I'm trying to describe how this energy over here is making me feel, because we have all these candles burned out behind her and she's still lighting them even though she's been burnt many times, right? So maybe you are someone who's been burnt many times, so your style is to just be mean because you could have been rejected a lot. You could have been someone who people like maybe deny your advances, or maybe use you to the point of you having to be mean or aggressive to let people leave you alone. But it's that meanness and aggression that makes you even more attractive. So, oh my gosh. Okay. This is like interesting energies, but yeah, you're someone who's been burned before in love and relationships and flirting, seduction, whatever you want to call it. And it led you to have like a very hard, meanish kind of exterior. And that is what makes you attractive. Someone who could be a little harsh sometimes, someone who could be a little standoffish, could be a little leave me alone, could be a little like aggressive, that kind of thing, you know, harsh. All those words are coming through, and that's something that people find very seductive, right? So that's your brand of seduction, guys, okay? Don't ask. Everybody doesn't find that seductive. They find it seductive about you. Don't ask me, no question me out here, okay? That's coming through. The Seven of Cups is also not knowing what you want. That could be coming through as well. You come through as someone who doesn't really know what you want, that lost. Yeah, exactly. I said it in the beginning of the reading. It's coming through again, that lost feeling of that not really knowing what to do, okay? So it leads you to maybe be angry and start lashing out. I don't know, okay? That could be coming through. And that is literally the archetype of Sam from iCarly. I feel like her being mean like that was a result of her childhood of having to be more mean to deal with a lot of the stuff she had, the hand she'd been dealt in life, you know? But anyway, the Four of Wands, but these are like very positive cards for the most part, I would say, with the Sun and the Four of Wands clarifying the Sun. So the Four of Wands is an energy of feeling stable. It's also the card of celebration, okay? So maybe even though, because, okay, let's look at it this way. Even though Sam wasn't the most open, loving person, she still found love with her best friend, Carly. And Carly still saw the softness in her. So even though people would be like, oh my gosh, she's so, why did she even have a friend? Why did she have people that cares about her? Because there has to be some redeeming qualities, right? So men could look at you and see the strong relationships you have I'm not men, sorry, people. Could look at you and see the strong relationships you have in your life and how happy you make other people, even though you may be mean to them. And they're like, for someone to have such a close friendship and you've been friends with them for 15 years, 10 years or longer, they're like, there has to be some redeeming qualities. I want to get to know who you are beneath the shell. If you felt called to another reading, go watch it. Because I feel like this came through another reading as well. Okay, I don't remember because I filmed this on 2 different days. But if you felt called to another reading, go ahead and watch them. That's why I try to do 4 readings now. Because I love the options of it all, you know? But anyway, yeah, we have this. And this is a place to hang your witch hat. So you're very cool people. This is what I'm hearing. Okay, like in general, you're cool people. So when it comes to you being seductive, maybe you are a little bit more aggressive and sexy and hot and just like leave me alone, but come here and maybe you know what I mean? It's kind of like giving sexy tension as well. So maybe you let the tension build before, you know, or maybe you're a little bit of not a tease, but your foreplay is what I'm trying to say with the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Wands. When you finally reach Nine of Wands, you're not giving up because you got this far, right? But then when you reach the Ten of Wands, you can't hold on to it anymore. So people are ready to jump your bones, and it's because you drag things out. That's making more sense as well. It's not just you being harsh or standoff, or just you dragging things out. Maybe being a little bit of a tease. You could be, I don't freaking know, but it's kind of giving you don't give it up right away. You have to make people work for it, okay? You make people work for the soft side of you. That's something that they really like. And they find very seductive, and they have to work for you because the Nine of Wands is, oh, she burned me how many times already, but I'm still lighting up another candle to offer to her. And when you reach the Ten of Wands, like an overload of passion, because Wands is a passionate kind of energy. But right now, you're only coming through as the Nine of Wands, okay? But yeah, we have the Sun card coming through him here. You have a nice smile. So when you do smile, you really brighten up the room kind of thing. There's something here about you making people earn your affection or love or tuntanti or sling, whatever you're working with, okay? You make them have to earn it, and that's very seductive to people. You don't just give it up right away. You have an exterior, you may be a little mean to them, you know, trying to make them run away, and if they get past that, then they're in, you know what I mean? But even then, they still have more work to do, right? Because there's something here about you like dealing with a bunch of people. Like if you are that Sam archetype though, and you are very curvaceous and very pretty, because she was like not a bottle blonde. How rude. Maybe some of you are bottle blondes where your hair is not naturally blonde, but you dye it blonde because you like it that way, or you find that people find you more attractive. Who freaking knows, you know? It's giving the Elle Woods effect from Legally Blonde. People could think that you're stupid, but you know a lot about your specific brand of obsession. So for Elle Woods, it was money, it was prestige, it was fashion, it was clothes, right? It was hair, makeup, stuff like that. And she was born and bred, the girly things in life. That's what she was very adept at. And that's what helped her win that one case in Legally Blonde. They thought, she's stupid, she doesn't know anything about anything. But at the end, she helped them win their big case, okay? That doesn't happen often in life where someone knows. She was like, phylocolate, acid. In the perm they use in your hair, if you were to actually be in the shower washing your hair when this person was getting shot, you wouldn't have been able to hear but your curls are still perfectly intact. So because they're still perfectly intact, you were in fact not in the shower washing your hair. You could have been in the shower, but you weren't washing your hair. So that means you would have been able to hear the gunshot, boom, shakalaka, and she had everybody speechless. You know? So when it comes to your brand of poison, we'll call it, you're very well adept at knowing the certain things and the ins and the outs, right? When it came to Sam and iCarly, it was violence, it was surviving, it was teasing people, it was getting to the things and saying things that really hurt them. You know what I mean? Or at least like hurt. You know, stung is the word I was looking for, sorry. Or things that really sting them, you know what I mean? But if you were looking like very attractive, you're blonde or you're curvaceous or busty as Elle was it was in the movie, and very good at getting attention of men, even if you don't want it, you're good at getting men in general, that can lead to, like I said, you beating them off with a stick. And if every guy that's looking your way is like lusting after you, you're gonna have to start getting a little bit mean or bratty or sassy or feisty to keep them away. But then it kind of brings them in even more. The people that deserve, I guess, your affection and seduction, right? That's kind of what I'm getting here, you know? But like I was gonna use the example of Sam and how she got a little curvaceous towards the end. And if you are someone who's because she was a very beautiful girl, we can't even lie. She was beautiful, like I said, blonde hair. It was very long, very luscious. The bright green eyes. She had the busty boobs and the curvaceous in the butt and all this kind of stuff. And if that is what men love, okay? Because what I hear all the time is men love the blondes, right? And then of course you have a nice body to cover it up, like you're not skinny but you're kind of curvy. The way men love Sydney Sweeney. We're getting a lot of blonde energy coming through here, right? Or busty blonde at least. So some of you could be that. If you're not, then it doesn't resonate for you, but it's kind of giving that vibe of men lust after you very easy and only look at you as an object, not as someone who has brains, right? They only look at you as like a beauty queen kind of energy. or someone like to take advantage of, in that kind of icky energy. But you have to learn to like put up a wall and say, no, I'm not just this, I'm that as well, I'm different, I'm more than what you think I am kind of energy. And that's why we have the Temperance card here, because you've learned to balance those things. You know what I mean? Let go of self-imposed limitations. You've learned to make those things work for you instead of, caring what people think about you, honestly. And I love that. So you can be someone who doesn't care what people think as well, and that's very seductive. Okay, hold on. But I was saying something, I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, the very attractive kind of person, you would have to like fight people away and find something to keep them away from you. So if you have to be a bitch, you have to be one, and that's it. You know what I mean? It could also just be fun for you to be mean to the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you're into sometimes. It's fun. As someone who has that tendency, it's fun sometimes, okay? Not to the point of being cruel, but just a little sass, a little talk back, a little, barb, Maybe you're a barb. Others of you are giving Nicki Minaj if you're not giving Sam and Elle Woods and freaking, I forgot the girl's name already. That new blonde that all the guys like. Forgot her name, but anyway, you could be a barb. You're giving Nicki Minaj, the bust down weaves, the big butt, the big boobs, the small waist, the black version of what I was explaining, right? You're a black woman. You don't resonate as being blonde or white, okay? So you're coming through as a barb, or you're coming through as a black, voluptuous woman, okay? Since Barb is coming through. Barb is also the girl from Stranger Things, season 1, who died in like the first episode. Very ghetto in my opinion, but yeah. But she's not you guys. You guys are not giving Wallflower Barb. You're giving Nicki Minaj Barb, where she's mean and ruthless. A lot of people have come to know her as being someone who is a little bit petty and mean sometimes and rude. Not the nicest person, but people still love her. That's a part of her appeal, right? She married that guy, Kenny guy, and he's a registered ex-offender. You know what I mean? I believe, because he did something to a little girl when he was whatever, and she decided to still get married with him and have kids. That just will always forever turn me off, that kind of energy. But it's attractive to some people. She wanted her a hood man, and she found her one. Some people need certain things and when it comes to their love life and relationships, so some people need someone who's like a little bit more stable, more secure. Some people need someone who's more hood, more this, more that. Some people need people who are more abrasive, more talkative, more outgoing. Some people need people who are more studious, more harmonious. You're not going to be so combative and fighting all the time. Some people need a traveler. Some people need someone who's rich, someone who makes less money than them, who makes more money than them. We all want different things in life. But right now we're talking about how do you seduce people, your seduction style, not Nicki Minaj's life choices, okay? But yeah, it's kind of giving that as well. Maybe some of you are like a rapper, or how rappers, use slick, turn phrases and stuff like that. You could be good with your words, right? Whether it's insulting someone or coming up with a rap verse, But yeah, that's coming through for you guys, okay? But you are just chill, cool people to hang around, because the Four of Wands is that kind of energy. A very nice friendship, a very, exuberant, happy, outgoing kind of person. Your outgoing personality, right? Whew. And Nicki Minaj is like a good example, because she is a Sag, and Sagittariuses are ruled by Jupiter. And they're also known for having a good derriere, if you know what I mean, because they're ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is like the thighs and the butt. So that can be one of your more prominent things that makes you very seductive. I remember I was watching a Queen Latifah interview, and she was like, I don't know what people were asking her, but it was something about how did you move through the 90s, or how did you stay confident, or something like that. They were asking her something about her weight, and she was like, I guess because people were always looking for me, or I always knew I was cute, because some guys, it doesn't matter how beautiful you look, they only want a butt. So they don't really care about face. As long as you have a big butt, they're checking for you. Some people don't care about face or butt. They want boobs. If you have a big boobs, they're going to be for you. She's like, guys want different things. So it never really felt, and of course she likes women. So we don't really, she probably didn't even give a flying fludoodle, honestly, right? But it was some kind of question they were asking her in the interview. And she was like, some men really just like one thing. Some men love mean women. I swear to you. Some men want quiet women, obedient women. They want rich women. They want skinny women. They want bust. Like, there's so many things that men like out here. She was like, some men literally do not care what you look like. They just want a big butt in their face, right? You could be not the most attractive in the face person, but as long as you have a big butt, they're happy. Some men want the opposite. They want just the boobs and that kind of thing. She was explaining it very well. But I literally forgot the question they were asking her, honestly. But it had to have been something about her weight, because she was always someone who was bigger. They could have been asking her, like, how did she deal with that or something like that. But I forget the question, but it's giving me that interview where she's like, men are going to like what they like. Some men don't really care what you look like in the face. They want a big butt. They want big boobs. They want long hair. They want you to be some kind of exotic. They want you to be black. They want you to be something, right? So it's always going to be somebody that wants you to, it doesn't really matter what you look like, okay? That's the vibe that's coming through for you guys. But you guys aren't even me attractive. No, because people love to get offended in the comments. Oh, that's me, what you said. I'm not a mean person, so I wasn't saying it to be mean. I'm just giving you examples, right? And you get mad at that. You speak too much, then leave. Like, sorry. It's giving, like, you're, like, very full on kind of, you don't really hold back what you say. If you're thinking it, you're going to say it. It's like no filter kind of energy. Like, if I make you feel some kind of way, then leave. I'm not forcing you to stay, right? I'm not holding something to your head saying you have to watch my video. Like, if you don't like it, what I'm saying or what I'm doing, then bye. Like, it's as simple as that. If you're going to sit here and complain, I don't want to hear it. Go find somebody else, get somebody else to listen or do it, right? And that kind of energy, like, oh, yeah, she's spicy. I like that. You're just like, what? But that's your default. So you better get somebody who likes that about you. The group 4, stop playing in their face. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Temperance is like an energy of like knowing how to contain it and not make it go too far, right? So it's like not being, like I said, vicious or brutal or cruel. But you're just a little mean sometimes. And that's something that a lot of guys like, or whatever you're looking for. Guys, women, because women love, like I said, men who are mean to you like you. That's a mentality women have grown up with for who knows how long, too long in my opinion, okay? But yeah, that's what's coming through, okay? A little bit of hot sauce in their wallet. You're the hot sauce in their wallet. You carry around hot sauce in your wallet. That's very seductive about you as well. You like spicy stuff. You're a spicy little person yourself, okay? You're going to cuss a guy out. It's kind of giving me a little bit Rihanna. So some of you guys like the Aries rising. You have like a lot of Aries in your chart, because I will never forget. I've brought it up a few times as well. There's like a picture of her going around where she used to be dating her like Muslim or Middle Eastern billionaire. I don't know if they were, affianced. I don't know if they were engaged, but I do know they were together for like a few years, And there's like this one picture of her where she's like holding her hand in her face like, and this, that, blah, 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 blah. You know how people do, right? When they get a little crazy, they ready to be up in your face and get crazy with you. And her, like her head was like in his forehead, like da 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 da. Her, she like maybe she blew her fuse. She was upset, right? And then literally the next picture, they are full on making out in the pool. And I'm like, Rihanna, period. It gives me life every single freaking time. Okay? It gives me life every time. So I'm like, period, sis, period. All the periods in the world. What more periods can I give? Because she went from full on arguing with that man. She was screaming at him in one picture into the next picture, and they're full on making out. So obviously they made up, and that was foreplay for them. And I'm like, period. That's what you're giving. Okay? And then when I was like doing all those hand motions, I was thinking of a new song that I'm obsessed with, and it's called Touch Me Like a Gangster by Jessie Murph. And I feel like I just found about it like a week or two ago, and every time I listen to it, I just like want to kick my feet and giggle, because she gets me. She gets the girls that get it, and the girls that don't, okay? Let me look it up real quick. Okay, so the one part that always comes to mind when I think of this song is she's like, ride me, baby boy, give me hell. This bed ain't gonna break itself. This song is so good, guys. Oh my gosh. But sorry. I love how I was talking about in the beginning of the reading. I think I was saying baby girl for you guys. I'm like, you're giving a baby girl. Are you lost, baby girl? And then we completely flipped the script, started talking about you being very overly aggressive. It's kind of giving that. You are someone who may be a little meek and shy and lost or quiet. And the quiet people are the ones that got the most height, and they're the most, not demented, let me stop. They're the most deviated or deviants, okay? But basically the song starts off by saying, hey baby, now I know we ain't been talking for too long, but there's some things I feel like you don't know about me. Do you want to know a secret? And she's like, walk with me, follow me, baby, come talk with me. I love how tender you are with me, but I got a side that you ought to see, baby. I like whips and chains. I like being tied to things. Whoo, turn me up. I like some pain. Turn me upside down on swings, babe. I'd like to know how far you're gonna go, how far you're gonna go. I tell you this, my love, I do not give a fluck. I want you on your worst behavior. Touch me like a gangster. Ride me, baby boy, give me hell. This bed ain't gonna break itself. And then she continues, this bed ain't gonna break itself 3 times. She says it 3 more times, okay? And she's like, you look like you like whips and chains. Won't you do something insane, babe? I want that strange. What stay hidden in your brain? Lock that door. I want that on the floor. How far we gonna go? I just love this song so much. It's called Touch Me Like a Gangster by Jessie Murph, okay? For you guys, especially, go into that song. You're giving those vibes real hardcore. She's like, like, we haven't been talking for long, but I feel like there's some things you should know about me. Okay, I like when you're gentle, but I like when you're rough even more. She's like, tie me up, whip me, have me upside down on the floor. She's like, ride me, give me hell. This bed ain't gonna break itself. When I first heard this song, I was walking down the street and I was like ready to scream. I'm like, period, period, She said what she said. Okay, so yeah, that's what's coming through for y'all. So maybe you're the quiet type, but when it comes to like your seduction in the bedroom, it's like very deviant, okay? So innocent sometimes, deviant other times. Let's keep going and see what else comes through for you guys. Oh, these are too many, no. I just want confirmation at this point. We have curiosity. People find it seductive because they're curious about it. They want to know more, which means you do keep people out to a certain extent. Here we have survival, what I was talking about with Sam and her mom. She had to survive a very harsh childhood, so it made her harder than other kids who didn't experience such things. We have luck. Jupiter was coming through. Maybe you're someone who's very lucky, okay? Or you make people feel very lucky, because look at how all these fishes are flying from the sky. And this is they're all for this one crow. He happy, mouth open. There could be something here about that, mouths and things going inside the mouth. Okay, for my grown folk. Okay, that's how you seduce people, with that mouth. What that mouth do? Ciao. And we have displacement. This came through another reading. If you felt called to another one, like I said. But yeah, we have that coming through. Displacement. Feeling like, and look at how we have all the poo on the. Ew. Y'all could be into some things, child. We ain't gonna get into that in this reading, but y'all could be very much into some things. You know what poop is. When it comes to the bedroom, that could be something you like. If it isn't, it's not for you. But the fact that it's all over the car, it's definitely giving that. It's either that or snow. But I'm getting, you know how birds be just doing that on stuff? It's giving that as well, because there's not snow on the ground, just on this one car here, okay? So, but it's also the white color. Oh, God. Y'all group really trying to get me in trouble. Y'all could use your imagination. All this white stuff covering the car, white stuff covering who? You, okay? Especially because we have your mouth always open, ready. You know what? I'm gonna leave it there, okay? This whiteness could be all over you or all up in you. Yerp. That's coming through. That's how you seduce people with that. Oh, y'all are, okay, but I love it. Anywho, let's continue on this deviant road together, okay? That song definitely, you know, you go from cussing them out to making out like crazy. So that is your seduction style, that tension, you know, being angry, pushing them past their breaking point, you know, aggressive. But then you go from, maybe you look innocent and they're like always surprised by that, or there's something about you being, you actually are innocent. Here we have selenite, clear the clutter. Clear the clutter. I'm hearing a breath of fresh air coming through for you guys as well. So you're definitely something interesting and new. That that they were not expecting to meet or to experience in their lifetime. Here we have tiger's eye, which makes sense, because tiger's eye is about protection, but also tiger, tigress. Now I'm hearing mayoress, murderess. And that's from Ginny and Georgia season 3, where her mom looks so innocent. Georgia, the cute southern accent, the southern belle, the blonde. And she's a very busty blonde. She doesn't really have much booty, but she has boobs. And all the men love her and fall at her feet, despite her not having booty. But it's because she has the accent. She has the boobs. She pushed them up. She has the southern girl next door vibe to her. But low-key, she be killing people. She be poisoning them. She has a dark side to her, despite her looking so innocent. Exactly. That's coming through for y'all. And they're curious to see more. This is so interesting. I wasn't expecting this. But hey, I love that I did a group 4. This is very interesting. But yeah, a tigress, a tiger is giving feline kind of energy, you know, dangerous, predator vibes, okay? But disguised as prey, which is another, that came through another group. Watch another group if you feel called to, or not. We have Azurite, get laser focused. So we have something here about getting clear and laser focus, overcoming your fears. So what is also very seductive about you is that you have gone through a lot of things in life, but you're still standing. With this luck here, you could have, like, you know, fell down a bad path or did a lot of things, but you are still, it's a regular, not regular, because no one is like truly regular, but you're still kicking, okay? You're still moving, you're still going, you're still doing what you need to do in life, okay? Let's get these dice out of the way. Get these two over here. We have Leo energy coming through. That's that feline, the tiger, the lion, hear me roar vibe. So your roar, which, you know, makes people shiver in their boots when they hear a lion roar. So people will be scared of y'all for real. But that's seductive to them for whatever reason. And we actually have Uranus coming through. And I mentioned Uranus in the beginning of the reading. So yeah, unpredictable, eccentric, different. That's Aquarius vibes. We went over Leo already. Here we have Pluto, which is very Pluto is like the underworld, intense transformation, going through the trenches kind of energy. You will not come out on the other side unscathed. You will be a changed person. That's what it's like to be seduced by you. So maybe you open people's mind or bring to their attention some things they weren't aware of before. Some kinks is what I'm hearing. And they're kind of like, oh, hold up now. I didn't know this was a thing. You know, you're a little bit of like a, what is it? You don't sully. That's the word I'm looking for. Not the word I was looking for. Open their mind. You change them, transform. Here we have, I think it was supposed to be Taurus. I'm not 100% sure as I was talking. But Taurus is like a very sensual energy. The 5 senses, food, that kind of thing. Maybe you know how to cook really well and you seduce people with your food, your cooking. Especially for giving Southern, that homegrown, home-fed kind of body. It's giving Megan Thee Stallion for others of you as well. Like I said, it's giving that lusted after physique, okay? The Nicki Minaj, the Megan Thee Stallions, like a Sydney Sweeney, she's coming through again. Elle Woods from Lady Blonde kind of thing. Here we have 9th house, which is funny that I was mentioning 9th house vibes. It wasn't for your group though, which is funny. 9th house is very explorative, expansive, and it's that luck coming through that was coming through in this card right here. But it's definitely giving, willing to try new things, expanding their horizons, broadening their horizons, their mind, that kind of thing. They're expanding their consciousness. That's what the 9th house is all about, traveling and becoming someone who is smarter, more worldly. So you can be someone who's very worldly, and it makes a lot of sense because you're teaching people things they never thought of before. And the last but not least, we have the freaking 8th house. Are we surprised? No, that's the house of sex. That's the house of transformation. That's the house of death, which is Pluto. And it's funny how I was going to mention Scorpionic energy when Pluto did come out, but I'm like, why? Because it was going to come out again in this 8th house vibe coming through here. So it's definitely giving, with the sun card here, you get people hot under the collar, hot and bothered by your attitude, with the way you know, talk, things like that. How you say things to them in a specific way, kind of, and you know, or maybe you dress in a way that says, oh, I'm into some stuff, right? You know, definitely giving deviant vibes. If you're still here, did it resonate? I don't know what to tell you, okay? But I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye.